Hello and welcome to Onondaga Community College for tonight's matchup between the Onondaga Flames and the Cortland Crush. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon all evening long. And Eric, it is a hot and sticky one out there in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, it is hot out there tonight. Mid-90s with the turf field. It feels like 115 on the field. Ball's going to be flying tonight, too, with this humid weather.
It sure is, and I'm excited to see what Connor Morrisroe has in store for us. We've been able to watch some rocky starts, and then we've seen him calm down on the mound and do his job. But again, Eric, can you kind of talk about the heat and how that can affect pitchers?
Well, first off, with the heat, like I said, we're going to see balls flying out of the yard tonight. Well, maybe not flying out of the yard, but we're going to see a lot of hits.
Right.
Because the ball will carry well in the humid weather. So my key to the game is the Flames pitching.
Yeah.
The better pitching staff wins the ball game, and the Flames, they have to go back to what they've done all year with that pitching staff, including Connor Morrisroe. Pitch well on the mound, have the league-leading ERA, keep the Crush off the scoreboard tonight. It's pretty simple, but it's hard to do in this sort of weather, and you got to get the job done tonight, though.
And McLean O'Connor, he's been here for about a week now, and he's really solidified himself at the shortstop position for this Flames team. What have you liked out of McLean since his appearance here?
Well, he's only played in 4 games to this point, but he's been pretty good so far. Just 11 at-bats, 3 hits on the year in 4 games. He's looked good, and he's made a couple good defensive plays. Personally, I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but he's looked good so far. And, the point for every player, the whole purpose in this league for every player is, to improve themselves individually as players, right, so they go back to college and help their team out. McLean is improving as well as everybody else to this point.
They sure are. Everyone's been, you talk about players improving throughout the season. It's really night and day for most of these guys. From the first game to where they are right now in the season, this team has really come together, and you see that when they have a victory like they did last night. This absolutely, demolishing the Rome Generals yesterday. And, when you're coming off a win like that, how do you keep a level head as a player?
Well, you just stay focused on the game, one game at a time. And credit to the coaching staff for that, and also the player development. That during batting, there isn't a whole lot of time when you're playing 42 games in a 2-month span to work with players individually. I see it in batting practice all the time, though. The Flames coaches are working with guys. Just today, assistant coach Will Chapman working with Ernie Giraci on fly balls, right in front of the Flames dugout, even though there was no batting practice today. It's that sort of thing that makes these players better and improves the team as a whole.
I tell you, those little things like that, this goes a long way with this group, especially players that didn't get a lot of burn at their freshman or sophomore years in college. So they're taking every opportunity, and they're taking advantage of it here for the Onondaga Flames. And this team, they're right in the position that they need to be in, Eric. They're still in the playoff hunt, and things still need to shake out for the standings. But right now, they're very close with the Cortland Crush in the standings. How do you see them, the rest of the season going for this team?
This is going to be a tight race.
Yeah.
Because the Flames have played 22 of 42 games so far. There's nearly half a season to go for both these squads, and, it's going to be a tight race from here on. It's always tight in a 40-game season. It's going to be a close one to the end.
So here we go. First pitch about to be tossed away by Connor Morrisroe. First pitch is going to miss outside for ball 1. This is Joe Palmo for the Cortland Crush, the left fielder this evening. Plays his college ball at Amherst College. 1-0 count. Morrisroe gets the sign from Zarat. Second pitch missing high for ball 2. Count goes to 2-0. Palmo betting a .263 on the season. Not too shabby. He's 10 for 38 at the plate as Morrisroe digs in. And I expect some long delays between pitches because you have to regather your strength here. This pitch in there for strike 1.
Well, regather your strength, and also you're sweating a lot on the mound in this sort of weather. That's why you might see pitchers miss the zone a lot tonight because, they don't have as much control if the sweat gets in their hand and the ball slips a bit.
2-1. Just catching the outside corner of the zone for strike 2. Count goes to 2-2. But, Eric, there's another element that we haven't really discussed so far with the Heat is cramping. And down in the dugout, they probably have at least 30 to 35 bananas down there for the players, and that's probably the one thing you can do to help prevent cramping on a hot night. The 2-2. In there for a strikeout, so Connor Morrisroe striking Joe Palmo, a strikeout victim, number 1 on the evening. That's a really good start from Connor.
Yeah, it's a good start and a good recovery. He's very quickly finding his rhythm. He missed with his first 2 pitches, and then he decided, you know what, I'm just gonna pound I'm gonna go back to old number 1. I'm gonna pound the zone with the fastball and see what he has for me, and he struck him out.
Dylan Ketch is going to step into the batter's box here, batting second for the Cortland Crush. Connor Morrisroe gets the sign from Zarat. This one popped up out to Adam Gordon, see if he can get there, and looks like it should be easy pickings for out number 2.
And another thing with the sweater is you just have to stay hydrated.
You
That's
sure
the
do.
most important thing. I don't know how many coolers they have in the dugout, but the trainer was here before me even at 4:30 today, working down there, getting getting players ready to go for this ball game. I even have my water bottle up here.
Sure do, Eric. This is Nelson Laviosa stepping into the batter's box now for the Cortland Crush as Morrisroe is 2 up, 2 down, trying to finish strong here. First pitch outside and low for ball 1. But the trainer's name escapes my mind here as we're talking about him. But, I mean, that guy, I'm going to give him a shout-out. I know you really appreciate the hard work he's doing. He's up here filling our water cooler, filling the jugs down there for the players. He really works his tail off for this club. 1-0. Missing high for ball 2. Count goes to 2-0 for Laviosa.
And if you think conditions are pretty unfavorable today, they're going to be worse tomorrow with an earlier start and a couple degrees higher, a temperature that's a little higher.
Sure.
Even.
2-0 popped up back towards the screen for a foul ball. It's going to be strike 1. Count goes to 2-1 on Laviosa.
I can't look it up right now, but the high tomorrow is 97 or 98 degrees.
And
Nearly 100.
And Laviosa is really the stud of this team, Eric. He's batting .393 on the season so far. So 2-1 counts here. Let's see what Morrisroe has in store for him. This one popped right back towards us once again. He's 33 for 84 at the plate with 13 RBIs.
Well, he's the leader of this Crush offense, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Their offense is much better than their pitching staff.
Right.
With league rankings. They're 5th in the league in batting average, and they're 5th in runs per game too, with almost 6.
The 2-2, this one just bouncing in the turf, so it'll go to a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Laviosa has collected 4 walks on the season, so doesn't get a ton of them. Let's see if he can hold off on the next pitch or if Morrisroe can get a second strikeout victim of the night. The payoff pitch delivered. This one popped back towards the screen once again, and we'll do the 3-2 count one more time. And I tell you, as a batter, if you can fight off foul balls when you have a full count on a night like tonight, Eric, it's really going to pay off for the offense.
Well, quality bats are always important, but especially tonight, because the longer a pitcher is on the mound in every inning, the easier it is for a team to score a run or 2.
3-2 once again. He's just going to be able to barely get a piece of it, fight it off, and we're going to do the full count one more time. So this is Nelson Laviosa, who's playing center field this evening. Again, he has the highest batting average on the Cortland Crush's team this season, batting a .393 coming into this ball game. He has 7 doubles, has scored 15 runs. The 3-2 payoff from Morrisroe popped down the third base line. Jared Groskuth has a glove on it over to Trace Peterson for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Onondaga Flames. They're going to take the offensive side here in the bottom of the first. But before we get the lineup for the Flames, we're going to step aside right here on Team Line. Welcome back to the Onondaga Flames live stream right here on Team Line. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon to bring you the bottom of the first inning. A scoreless ball game. Michael Viveros is on the mound for the Cortland Crush. He has a 0 ERA. And McLean O'Connor is going to lead things off, the shortstop. See what he has in store for the Flames here this evening, as he's been pretty consistent in his 4 games so far this season. First pitch outside for ball 1. But he's batting a .273 on the season. He's 3-4-11 so far in 4 appearances. This one popped out to left field. Palmo, and it's going to get over his head. So here comes O'Connor. O'Connor's going to get to second base safely and hold up, and that's a leadoff double, Eric, to start the ball game.
Hey, good start for O'Connor. He got into one down the left field line, just out of the reach of Joe Palmo. You know, that's what you want, take advantage of the weather, and when you get a good pitch to hit, generally, you just got to take advantage of it, and the ball, carried a little bit. It carried over the head of Palmo to the wall. Flames have a leadoff hit.
And up to bat next is Adam Gordon, and a guy that can score runs for this team. Adam Gordon is 3rd on the team in RBIs with 11. Excuse me, he's 4th on the team with 11, but either way, is really doing his part for the Flames.
Drove in 2 last night. He was the big hitter in the lineup that scored 15 runs last night. 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs.
Not a bad stat line there. So Viveros giving up the leadoff double. First pitch for Adam Gordon popped down the right field line, foul, and it's going to be strike 1. But you mentioned the Crush's bullpen, or their pitching staff, I guess, Eric, and not the best start to start this ball game.
No, they just have they got to try and trick these Flames hitters.
They sure do.
The Flames are among the league's worst when it comes to strikeouts, so they have to throw that strikeout pitch, fool those hitters tonight.
Adam Gordon betting a .338 coming into this ball game. This one pops straight up. Should be easy pickings for Palmo, as there's out number 1. O'Connor makes his way back to second base, but Brian Hart's going to be up the bat next, and I'll take you down the lineup. So McLean O'Connor led off, and then it was Adam Gordon batting second. Brian Hart playing second base in the 3 spot. Batting 4th, Mike Netzel, the DH this evening. Batting 5th, Jared Groskuth playing third base. Batting 6th, Jake Zarat, who's the catcher this evening. Batting 7th, Colin Matthews playing right field. Batting 8th, Trace Peterson playing first base. And batting 9th, Jack Chernow playing center field. The first pitch for Brian Hart is going to miss outside for ball 1. Brian Hart, another guy we talk about player development. He has developed quite a bit, and he's showed his versatility as of late. Been moved around second base, played some third base last week as well. Second pitch, this one popped out. Should be easily down, and it is. So here comes McLean O'Connor. He's going to round third base and easily get in there as the center field has trouble with the ball. And another double. This one's an RBI double that scores the game's first run.
Well, and I was just about to say, you talk about player development. At the plate, it's been Brian Hart's power.
Yeah.
Hit a home run against Cortland 2 weeks ago. Had a pair of doubles that one hopped the wall against the Saltcats on Tuesday, and there it is again. Another gapper that drives in a run. The Flames are up 1-0.
And how about this? The next guy up, it's Mike Netzel, who's second on the team in batting average, batting a .322 on the season. He has 6 RBIs himself. See if he can get another base hit and keep this Flames first inning going here. First pitch for Netzel in there for strike 1. Netzel has 6 RBIs on the season, but he does have 18 walks, which is tied for first on the team. So he's a very patient batter at the plate, and his patience surely has paid off this season. This one should be down. Iset Maldonado making a beautiful diving play, and it's over there in first base in time for out number 2, but Mike Netzel does his part. He bats Brian Hart up to third base with 2 away. Jared Groskuth will dig his spikes in the batter's box.
Highway robbery by Maldonado on the diving grab. Base hit easily for Netzel, and Hart may have scored on it if it got through the infield. Great play by Maldonado.
Absolutely. Jared Groskuth back in the lineup tonight playing third base. Third on the team in batting average is Groskuth. He's batting a .319. Here's the first pitch for him. This one pops straight up, and this should end the inning. Houts underneath it, and he's getting called off, and it's called off by Tatum, who collects it for out number 3. So the Flames score 1 with 2 hits, 1 left on, and a run scored. The Flames lead the Crush 1-0 going to the top of the second inning right here on Team Line. Well, welcome to the top of the second inning here at Onondaga Community College, where the Flames lead the Cortland Crush 1-0. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon. And Eric, Zach Kelly, big bat up the bat here for the Cortland Crush.
Yeah, good hitter so far for this team, batting .299. He's played in 21 of the team's 23 games, and he's hit 2 of their 3 homers on the year.
Not too shabby. We saw one of the homers were against the Flames when we were down in Cortland, game number 1 against Cortland on the season. Connor Morrisroe out for a second inning of work. First pitch, check swing. That's going to sting his hands for sure. So strike 1 there for Zach Kelly on a check swing.
Accidental foul ball on that one. I don't think he went.
No.
But the ball got his bat anyway.
The 0-1 for Morrisroe. In there for strike 2. So Zach Kelly quickly finds himself in a sticky situation. Down 0-2. Zach Kelly is 20 for 67 coming into this ball game, 15 RBIs. The 0-2 from Morrisroe. Same exact spot, but it's just going to miss outside for ball number 1 against Zach Kelly. 23 walks is by far the most on the team Zach Kelly has collected so far this season. See if he can get out of this 1-2 count. This one's going to bounce into the turf for ball number 2. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talk about quality at-bats. This guy practically almost every time has a quality at-bat, Eric.
Well, he's their cleanup hitter. He has to be productive, and part of being productive is working quality at-bats.
The 2-2 way outside, and the count will go to 3-2 here. So a full count, and just like that, Zach Kelly's patience is paying off. And he's worked himself into a full count as Connor Morrisroe had him down 0-2. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Morrisroe can get out of the full count without surrendering a walk. The 3-2 payoff. This one popped right back to Morrisroe over his head, though. Run up by O'Connor, and it's going to be in there in time. Man, that was a close play. Trace Peterson slipping off the bag, but his foot was still touching it as McLean O'Connor charged that ground ball and got it there in time for out number 1.
Well, it was a weird hop because Kelly pretty much literally pounded that ball into the turf as you see Bill McConnell walk over to the field umpire to get a clarification on that call. It's over the head of Morrisroe, but it had to bounce twice for O'Connor. I thought for sure Kelly would get on base, but O'Connor's throw, though it was a little off target, it was there in time for the out.
That's all that matters. And I tell you what, Cortland's head coach is probably one of the nicest guys in this league. I mean, he came up here to talk to us, and this guy could probably talk to anybody and sell candy to a baby because he's just a genuine, very nice man.
Yeah, and, he's just an amazing fella, and it's perfectly described to me by Christian de Guzman, the Spartan broadcaster, who, congratulations to him, by the way, on calling the All-Star game this next Monday right here at OCC. He says the guy just gets it.
He sure does.
He just gets it,
Yeah, he sure does. And this is Jimmy Tatum batting next for the Cortland Crush. First pitch outside for ball 1. But, yeah, you talk about a guy that's just he's living life, and he's living it to the fullest, and probably one of the nicest guys in this league by far. But the 1-0 here for Jimmy Tatum. This one popped up. See if Cherno can get a play on it. Cherno chases it down for the flyout, and there's 2 down here in the top of the second inning.
And getting back to Bill McConnell, what I mean by he gets it is that he knows what everybody in an organization, we're not talking about just players and coaches, but everybody, all the interns, the owners, you know, how difficult it is to put on a show every night. And, most managers, they give us their lineup about an hour before the game. He was up here at 5:15 with a lineup ready to go for everybody. He just gets it.
He sure does. Hayden Houts is going to step into the batter's box trying to get Cortland's first hit of the ball game. This first pitch in there for strike 1, and coming back to baseball here, Eric, Connor Morrisroe looks very strong so far.
Well, he has a pep in his step.
Yeah.
And that's really the key because he's showing that energy on the mound. He's looking unfazed by the weather, at least so far in this game, and he's hitting the strike zone.
1. Curveball in there for strike 2, and, man, an 0-2 count once again. He had Zach Kelly down 0-2, but worked into a full count. Let's see if he can finish here. Already has 1 strikeout on the evening. Let's see if he can collect number 2 here against Hayden Houts, the first baseman. Marshall winds up for the 0-2 outside, not going to get him to reach at it, and we'll do the 1-2 count here for Houts. Hayden's batting a .222 on the season. He's 6 for 27 at the plate. Does have a double to his name so far this season. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 away here in the top of the second inning. This one bouncing in the turf, 4 ball 2. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Flames lead this one 1-0 here in the top of the second inning, thanks to the fast start by McLean O'Connor and Brian Hart for the Flames. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. This one bounces into the turf one more time, and just like that, Connor Morrisroe has had a similar at-bat that he had against Zach Kelly, working into a full count after having him down 0-2.
Well, and similarly to that Zach Kelly at-bat, the first 2 pitches they had to play with, they were good pitches, and a couple of them, and they were both pretty close to the zone, trying to get the hitter to chase because you have a couple pitches to work with. And I still like what I've seen out of him, though.
The 3-2 payoff. In there for strikeout victim number 2 on the evening. Beautiful pitch there by Connor Morrisroe, and you talk about a pep in the step, he surely has one here. But 3 up, 3 down one more time for the Cortland Crush. We're going to head into the bottom of the second inning, but we're going to step aside for a quick break right here on Team Line. Welcome back to OCC here in the bottom of the second inning. A great walk-up song by Jake Surratt, by the way, but the Flames lead the Crush 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon, who is currently jamming out to this walk-up song. And Eric, surely you like this one.
Well, I'm pretending to play the drums for a reason, Morgan.
So let's see what Jake Surratt has in store for the Flames this evening. Getting a start behind home plate. First pitch against Surratt in there for strike 1.
Flames were very aggressive in that first inning. 5 batters, 9 pitches against Viveros. Look for them to be a little more patient this time up.
Second pitch missing high for a ball, and Surratt really had a rocky start to this season, especially at the plate, but he's completely turned it around. He's batting a .209 on the season. He's 9 for 43. This pitch chopped right back to the pitcher. Should be an easy out for Jimmy Tatum. Let's see if Surratt can beat it out. And he will not be able to, so Jimmy Tatum being able to scoop up the ground ball and shoot it over to Hayden Hounts for out number 1.
I'm not sure if that ball would have gotten through the infield initially, but I think it's a bad break regardless.
Yeah.
Because the ball kicking off the pitcher of Viveros, it goes right to the second baseman, Jimmy Tatum, instead of it being labeled up the middle and forcing the tough play for the shortstop, Maldonado.
So this is going to bring up Colin Matthews, batting 7th for the Flames on the season. Looks like head coach Mike Cordero is going to go out to talk to the second base umpire, or the first base umpire, I should say, just to confirm that last play, which makes sense. It definitely could have gone either way, but I think Hayden Hounts definitely beat him out by probably a footstep.
And the umpires are doing a good job tonight of getting the call right and, having a discussion about this. In the last half inning, they had a discussion about the ground out to O'Connor. That was a close play that almost threw Peterson off the bag. And, they're going to call him out again, and I think it's the right call.
And especially a night like tonight, Eric, tempers could flare in a hurry because of the heat. So for the home plate umpire to keep a level head, for head coach Mike Cordero to keep a level head, it's very crucial for this team to get a win here tonight.
Well, if there are 2 coaches in this league who keep a level head more than anyone, it's Mike Cordero and Bill McConnell.
Yeah, for sure. But either way, Colin Matthews in the batter's box now. That curveball is going to miss outside for ball number 1 against Colin. Colin betting 273 on this season. Not too shabby. This pitch in there for strike one. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong line. It's actually a 268 for Colin Matthews. He's 11 for 41 on the season. 8 RBIs, has 10 walks as well. So this is a guy who gets quality at-bats all the time. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike on Colin Matthews, who night in and night out can impress you in the outfield or at the plate. This pitch, he watches it go low for ball number 3, and quickly it's a 3-1 count here for Colin Matthews, looking to pick up his 11th walk on the season. 3-1, chopped foul down the left field line, so count goes to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here for Colin Matthews. See how aggressive he is with this pitch here. The 3-2 payoff. Cut on and missed for a strikeout. The first strikeout of the evening. And Colin Matthews just ahead of that one.
Yeah, and that's a pitch that Viveros fooled him on. It's right around his eyes.
Yeah.
And when a pitch is at your eyes, coaches tell you don't swing at it.
Right.
Because that's well above the zone, and that one just fooled him, got him to swing at it.
Trace Peterson's going to step up in the batter's box to get things going here. The third batter of this inning. This first pitch against Trace in there for strike one. Playing first base tonight instead of his usual catching position where he's been rotating back and forth. This one should be down for at least a base knock. Let's see if the center fielder unable to get there, and Peterson has a 2-out single for the Onondaga Flames.
And very quickly, we want to mention, I expect them to get a lot more outings at first base, a lot more starts there throughout in the second half of the season, because that was what he was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's what his main purpose in the field is.
Right.
This summer, to get reps at first base so he can play first base in college at Lake Erie. But with Jake Zurot in the NCAA tournament for a third of the season, a third of the first half of the year, he's had to catch a lot.
Jack Chernow is going to square a bunt. Should be able to beat it out. Let's see if he does, and he will. Beautiful bunt attempt by Jack Chernow, someone you call Steady Eddie, and that's for that reason with another 2-out single to advance Trace Peters in the second. He's going to be standing on first.
Well, he's gutsy Eddie this time, because what you're bunting with 2 outs and a runner on base, that is gutsy.
It sure is.
To try and bunt for that base hit, and it's a beautiful down that third base line, and now 2 runners on with 2 away, a chance to extend the lead.
2 runners on, and the Flames have already batted through the lineup one time here in the bottom of the second inning. Let's see if McLean O'Connor can do it again. He led off with a double, scored the lone run for the Flames so far in this ball game. Viveros, first pitch against McLean, a curveball. It's going to get in the zone for strike number 1. McLean got all of that second pitch of the at-bat last time he was up. Beautiful job by him. Let's see if he can keep the hot hand going. 0-1 count with 2 away. Runners on first and second. Peterson has a decent lead, but Viveros is going to control the pitch instead. This one out to center. Laviosa ranging back for out number 3. So the Flames are going to strand 2 runners, collect a couple of hits, and score no runs as we head into the top of the third inning. Eric Moon will be taking over play-by-play duties right here on Team Line.
Welcome back to OCC Stadium, folks. Crush and Flames tangoing tonight. Through 2 innings, the Flames have a 1-0 lead on an RBI double from Brian Hart. Eric Moon, Morgan Chapman with you on the call this evening. What is a mid-90s night here in Syracuse, New York. Not the norm, to say the least, during the summer.
Definitely not. It is a toasty one this evening for sure.
Bottom of the order for Cortland here in the third. First pitch to Alex Babcock from Connor Morris. Throws a fastball outside. Ball 1. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. Average of 14 pitches to this point per inning for Morris. So that's just through 2 innings, but he has retired 6 Cortland Crush hitters in 6 tries as the fastball is up for ball 2. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Pair of strikeouts, pair of groundouts, pair of flyouts. He has been Mr. Consistent throughout the first 2 innings as the starter tonight for Onondaga. But here's the 2-0, and the fastball stays high again for ball 3.
Well, up until this point, Eric, he's really been pounding the strike zone. That's something that you admire from all of these Flame starters. They really end up pounding the strike zone and getting outs.
But he's down 3-0 in the count here, and the 3-0 fastball is over the plate for strike 1. The count 3 balls and 1 strike to Alex Babcock. Babcock batting .259 on the year. He's played in 18 games to this point, 18 of the team's 23 games. As a 3-1 is a fly ball down the right side. Matthews jogging towards it, but nobody's going to get there. It's well foul down the right side. Not quite out of play, though.
And you're not going to waste your energy on a night like tonight on a fly ball that you have no chance of getting either way.
And now the count runs 4 out of 3 balls and 2 strikes to Babcock. And here's the payoff for Morris, though. The fastball is well high, forcing Surratt out of the crouch. And Babcock is the first base runner of the night for Cortland. He's on with a leadoff walk in the third. That brings up the catcher, Benjamin Horsfall. Horsfall having a pretty good year, but he's only played in 5 games to this point. 3 of 10 at the plate. Of his 3 hits, 1 double, and he's driven in 3. So he has been a productive hitter when he has gotten at-bats. First 1-2, Horsfall's a fastball on the outside corner. Strike 1. The count, no balls and 1 strike.
Horsfall plays his college ball at St. Anselm College, part of the NE10 conference, and I'm sure I'll be getting pretty familiar with him throughout next season as well.
Especially considering you're from Lemoyne. That's
Yes, sir.
exactly the consideration, as the throw to first is not in time. As Horsfall gets some signs from the third base coach and head coach, Bill McConnell. First base runner of the night for Cortland. The first one, well, after the Flames got 4 in the first 2 innings in total, as it's popped up towards shallow center. 3 Flames going after it. Cherno, the center fielder, calls him off and makes the catch. Going back to first, it's Babcock. There's 1 away here in the third. That brings up the shortstop, Iset Maldonado. Maldonado, we haven't seen him since the first game between the Crush and the Flames way back on June 3rd. And Maldonado is 8 of 37 at the plate so far this year. He's played in 17 games. But he has scored 9 runs, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs for him on the year. As Morris Rowe is set to begin the at-bat. But first, he steps off the rubber. And going back to first is Alex Babcock.
Iset made a beautiful play at the shortstop position earlier in this ball game, Eric.
Robbed Mike Netzel of a base hit that may have scored a run in the first inning. Throw over to first, not in time. Correction, it would have scored a second run for the Flames. As Mike Netzel was the batter after Brian Hart, when Hart hit his RBI double to the left center field gap. Morris Rowe ready to deal the first one to Maldonado. Here it is, and the fastball just misses the outside corner. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. This Cortland Crush team on the year 10-13. They're tied with the Rome Generals for 4th in the Eastern Division in the NYCBL, just behind the Sherrill Silversmiths, who are closer to the Flames than they are to the Generals and the Crush. As the throw over to first is not in time, even on the swipe tag by Trace Peterson. And we talked about the season series in the pregame between the Crush and the Flames. Crush took the first 2 on June 3rd and June 8th, and then these 2 teams played back-to-back 2 weeks ago, and the Flames won both of those. As a hard grounder is hit towards third, bobbled by Grosskreutz, so his only plays at first. He throws over there in time and on target for the second out of the inning. And on to second is Babcock on the ground out.
And with A.J. DiFilippo out of the lineup, Jared Grosskreutz has to step up a little bit tonight. He's going to have to be consistent at the plate and make those plays at third base.
That brings up the top of the order. Joe Palmo, the left fielder, up to the plate now. Palmo, for him, his 13th game of the year in the team's 23rd. He was the leadoff man last night at home against the Sherrill Silversmiths. He went over 3. First one to him in this at-bat is a pitch in the dirt. Gets away from Zurad. He throws to third. The tag is there. And in time for the outs. Babcock is caught stealing. And that will retire the side in the top of the third. Flames still lead at 1-0. Heading to the bottom of the third inning here on Team Line. Welcome back to Flames Baseball and Team Line. Flames ahead of the Crush 1-0 through 2.5 innings of play after Alex Babcock was caught attempting to steal third base to end the inning. That brings up 2-3-4 in the Flames order. And Adam Gordon, who, well, first pitch he saw against Michael Viveros' first time up. Home run distance fly ball down the right side, but well foul. He has done that once or twice so far this year already. And here's the first one to him this time, and the breaking ball is low and in. Almost hit Gordon. It's ball 1. The count 1 ball and no strikes. Vivero's pitch count looking pretty good so far, despite giving up 4 hits to the Flames and 1 run to this point through 2 innings. As the 1-0 to Gordon is a fastball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike, as Viveros has had 25 pitches now. He had 23 coming into the inning, an average of 11.5 per inning, which is a very good number for any pitcher. As the 1-1 is lined off the end of the bat towards center field. Taking a few steps to his right to make the catch is Laviosa, and that is the first out of the inning. Pair of flyouts so far for Adam Gordon, and there's 1 away. That brings up the second baseman, Brian Hart, an RBI double for him already in this one. And last night he was 0 for 3, but he was the man who was scoring the runs. He scored a pair of runs last night against Rome as the pitch is in there for a strike. Count is 0-1 to begin the at-bat. And when Hart gets a pitch to handle, he has been known to crush it over these last couple weeks as the fastball is outside, well outside for ball 1. The count 1 ball and 1 strike.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but the last time you were down in Cortland, Brian Hart hit a home run.
That is correct. As the 1-1 is in the dirt for ball 2, the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Got a hold of it and hit it just over the fence in left field at Beaudry Park. And it started the comeback for the Flames. They were down 7-4 at the time. The 2-run homer got them within 1 as he lines one down the left field line for a base hit. Cut off, but it gets by the left fielder, Palmo. Hart may get to third base. He rounds second and heads for third. Here's the relay, and Hart slides in. That looks to be a double and an E7. Either way, Hart has his second extra base hit tonight, and he's seeing the ball well in this humid weather.
Well, Eric, you talk about power, and right after you say it, he shows off that power, lining one down the left field line. Beautiful play. Let's see if Mike Netzel can drive him home.
Netzel last time up, robbed of an RBI single, potential RBI single. It definitely would have been a hit by Iset Maldonado. First one of him is a breaking ball that stays high for ball 1. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Corner infielders in, not quite on the grass, but playing in regardless. Middle infielders Maldonado and Tatum playing a little spread out, but still normal as Netzel grounds one towards short. This will get the job done. Maldonado throws to first in time. Hart scores, and the Flames have a 2-0 lead on an RBI grounder from Mike Netzel. And for Netzel on the year, that is RBI in number 7 for him. And that brings up Jared Grosguth with the Flames now having some breathing room on the scoreboard early on in this one. First one to Grosguth is a fastball well high. That's ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes.
No one warming up in the bullpen for the Cortland Crush so far, Eric, and you have to think Viveros has to hold on to this one because it's starting to slip away just a little bit.
Pitch was in the dirt and got away from the catcher Horsfall, but nothing doing with nobody on base. 2 balls and no strikes to Grosguth, and usually when you can tell a pitcher is being tired, he misses high with a lot of pitches in general. As Grosguth grounds one hard and past the third baseman Babcock into left field. That is a base hit for Grosguth. Already the 6th hit tonight for the Flames. Runner on first, 2 away.
And can you tell this ball club is confident right now, Eric? I mean, they are doing a heck of a job staying hot from last night's game and rolling it right into this afternoon's game.
Sometimes when you get 2 off days in a row, it's even 1 off day as a baseball team, sometimes you start out with a little rust. Well, no rust last night.
No.
Exactly what you expect as the pitch is in the dirt to Zerot. Doesn't get away from the catcher Horsfall, holding it first. It's Grosguth, 1 ball and no strikes to Zerot. And, you expect there to be rust, but the Flames scored 12 runs in the first 2 innings, so I don't see rust there. And you don't see rust tonight, already 2 on the board. Same pitch to Zerot in the dirt, and Horsfall blocks it beautifully again. 2 balls, no strikes.
And Zerot was robbed of a single, I believe, the last time as well because Viveros, that ball went off his leg and it went right to Jimmy Tatum. If it hadn't, it would have been right up into center field for a base knock for sure.
It turned into an easy play besides a throw from Tatum that was a little high, forcing Houts off the bag for a second. As the fastball is over the plate for strike 1, and Viveros is back in the at-bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Houts got the foot back on the first base bag in time to get Zerot, though. It was a 1-4-3 ground out. And here's the 2-1 to Jake. Swings and misses at a pitch, and he fouled it into the catcher. It looked like a pitch in the dirt.
He might have fouled it off his foot the way he's walking now, and the home plate umpire is going to give him a second. But his batting average really doesn't do him justice, especially the type of player it is. I think it just took him some time to get adjusted because, again, he was sitting on the bench at Canisius. He wasn't playing a lot during the NCAA tournament, and here we see him, finally getting into his rhythm for the Onondaga Flames.
And something I've been saying about him all year. As here's the 2-2, pitched in the dirt. Grosguth was going on the pitch anyway, so he will steal second with ease. Now running scoring position with 2 away. It's something I've been saying about Zerot all along. Some of these players, it takes some of them longer than others to get acclimated to NYCBL level play. And for Zerot, it took him a little longer than most players. And generally for hitters, it takes longer than pitchers. As the payoff is grounded towards the third base side, Babcock snags it. The throw to first is a 1-hopper, and not able to corral it is Houts at first. That'll be an E5 on Alex Babcock. And on the second error of the inning by the Crush, the Flames stay alive, and now they can add to their 2-0 lead.
They sure can. When Colin Matthews is a guy that can drive in some runs. So with runners on the corners, let's see if Colin Matthews can get the job done.
So runners at the corners, 2 away with Matthews up. Flames already up 2-0. They've scored 1 run in the inning on an RBI ground out from Mike Netzel, his 7th RBI of the year. And here's the first one to Matthews. Fastball is a jam shot into left center field. That one will drop for a base hit. Grosguth scores easily. Zerot took the turnaround second but holds up. And the Flames extend their lead to 3. It's now 3-0 on an RBI hit from Matthews.
And I'm not sure if the pitching change is going to be made sooner than later because Viveros is starting to fall apart rather quickly now, giving up 7 hits already in this ball game and 2 runs scored with 2 away. Let's see if he can get out of this inning.
It's easier for an inning to snowball on you when you give up a run in this kind of weather.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's snowballing pretty fast to Viveros, but only 2 in so far for the Flames. as the breaky ball is outside for ball one. The count 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, the snowball effect can also be affected by the heat as well. I mean, things kind of start to take a toll on you, and especially in your mind. You have to work out of it.
1-0 fastball is on the inside corner to Peterson. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. And for Matthews, that was his 9th RBI of the season, which keeps him in 4th place on the team in RBIs. As the 1-1 is a big swing and miss by Peterson. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. There is a right-handed pitcher warming up in the Cortland bullpen. It is Logan Purse for Cortland. As the count is 1-2 to Trace Peterson with runners on first and second and 2 away. Here it is, and Peterson chops it foul to the left side towards the Flame dugout. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes as Viveros is up to 23 pitches in this inning. So he is definitely showing some fatigue to this point. And also that run that Grosskreutz just scored, that run is unearned. The first one was earned, but the second was unearned as the breaking ball from Viveros just misses for ball 2. The count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So early on, that's 3 runs, 2 earned, charged to Michael Viveros. If any more runs score this inning, those are unearned as well. As here's the 2-2. Fastball got him looking on the inside corner. Good pitch from Viveros to get out of it. However, the Flames put up a couple runs on the scoreboard with an RBI grounder from Mike Netzel after the double from Brian Hart, and an RBI single from Colin Matthews with 2 outs. Flames ahead 3-0 after 3 here on Team Line. Welcome back to OCC Stadium. Flames ahead 3-0 on the Cortland Crush here on a Saturday night from OCC Stadium. Eric Moon, Morgan Chapman with you on the call tonight. And Joe Palmo leads it off for Cortland in the top of the 4th inning. He was at bat when Alex Babcock was caught attempting to steal third base to end the top half of the 3rd inning. Breaky ball from Connor Morrisroe well up and away. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes.
How many pitches is Morrisroe out, Eric?
That was his 40th right there. As here's the 1-0. Palmo grounds it to the right side. Good hop for Hart. He underhands it to the bag for Peterson. And it's the first out here in the 4th inning. Interesting note on Palmo, his grandfather, Peter Gent, played basketball at Michigan State and wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much football he played in college, but that's a pretty good athletic career, regardless.
Pretty good nugget. Right there, Eric.
Here's Dylan Ketch, the right fielder. Squares up to bunt, lays it down, but it's fouled on the third base side. Strike one, the count, no balls, and 1 strike.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but I feel like when we're trying to prepare notes for each team, it's kind of like mining. You're always, looking for the next piece of diamond or gold in the rough, and when you find something like that, it really pays off.
Yeah, and well, you look on the players' college website,
Right.
of course, with their college team, and something also you got to look up. What do you know about their college?
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
As here is the 0-1 to Catch, and the ground ball is to the right side. Diving stop at first by Peterson. The throw to the bag is in time to get Catch, who is sliding headfirst to the bag.
Oof.
A diving stop for Peterson. The throw was up and away, but Morrisroe snagged it for the outs.
And you talk about a team that's just, clicking on all cylinders right now. Trace Peterson sacrificing his body for the greater good, able to snag that hard ground ball down the right field line. And Connor Morrisroe with the hustle play getting over there in time.
And Peterson got the ball by the hair on his chinny chin. Boy, that was close to getting into right field. Here's Nelson Laviosa with 2 outs and nobody on, and the first pitch breaking ball just dips below the zone. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Just 1 base runner to this point for Cortland through 3 2/3 innings, and that was on the walk by Alex Babcock. Here is the 1-0 from Morrisroe, and the bouncer is outside as well for ball 2. The count, 2 balls and no strikes. And if there's anybody to get this offense going for Cortland, it is the guy at the plate. We mentioned Laviosa. He has the leading batting average on the team for Cortland, batting just a little under 400 on the year. 33 hits. That leads the team just ahead of Dylan Ketch. 7 doubles on the year, 13 RBIs. 2-0. Fastball well outside. Just tipped the glove of Zurot before going to the backstop, and now it's 3 balls and no strikes.
On a hot night like tonight, Eric, sweaty palms can be a factor on having a good or bad grip on the ball as a pitcher.
And we're not talking about the Eminem song "Lose Yourself" with those sweaty palms. These aren't nervous sweaty palms. These are humid sweaty palms. As the fastball is on the outside corner for strike 1. The count, 3 balls and 1 strike. I'm more of a classic rock guy, but I don't know how I knew that, honestly.
You're just you enjoy all genres of music, Eric.
3-1 the count to Laviosa. And here it is from Morrisroe. The fastball is popped up left side. Grosguth took a couple steps towards, so did Morrisroe, but that's well out of play. Count runs 1 out of 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Morrisroe, he has battled back in the count again. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, he just looks, he's oozing with confidence out on the mound. That's the only way to describe him at the moment. And again, earlier this season, you could tell the nerves were setting in. He was inconsistent, and now he's just finding a rhythm. He looks very strong right now.
Here is the payoff, and the fastball gets some look in on the outside corner. Painting the corners like Rembrandt is Morrisroe right now. And the Crush go down at 1-2-3 once again. 3-0 Flames after 3.5 from OCC. New pitcher for the Cortland Crush this time. It is Logan Purse, who was warming up in the bottom of the third inning. Purse out of Salem International University, native of Cicero, New York, not too far from here. Graduate of Cicero North Syracuse High School. And he faces 9-1-2 in the Flames order to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. And Michael Viveros, the weather just seemed to get to him tonight.
Yeah.
Because he has been a dominant pitcher so far for the Crush on the year. 5 games. Tonight was his first start. One of two pitchers for this Cortland roster that hadn't allowed an earned run yet. And the other is Jimmy Tatum, who's only pitched 1 inning so far this year. So here's the first one at Cherno, and the off-speed finds the outside corner. Strike one, the count 0-1, and now a little shade. The sun is behind a cloud here at OCC as the 0-1 to Cherno is a swing and miss at a high fastball.
And if Cortland wants to get back into this ball game, Eric, it all starts with Logan Purse on the mound. They really need to have a consistent pitcher that can strike out batters or at least get outs, and then obviously kick things up a notch on the offensive side.
0-2. Cherno swings and misses at the breaking ball in the dirt. Tagging him out of the catcher's box is Horsfall. And Cherno goes down on 3 pitches to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. Now, Purse is normally a starter for this Crush squad. He has pitched in 3 games, 2 starts so far this year. 11 2/3 innings, but he has struggled a bit. 23 hits, 12 runs, 9 earned. And he has an 0-1 record on the year. As the first one to O'Connor is an off-speed pitch over the plate for strike one, the count 0-1. But he's looking good so far. First 4 pitches have all been in the strike zone.
Pounding the zone.
Yes, he is pounding the zone. As the 0-1 is a fastball on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes.
He's also wasting no time in between pitches, getting set and throwing the next pitch immediately.
Quick pace to his work tonight, and the 0-2 is a slow bouncer. Oh, oof. A big hop on Babcock, and it got off his right hand into left field.
Man.
Not sure if that will count as a hit or an error, but that was a bad hop on the turf for Babcock. Looked like an easy play off the bat.
He's very lucky that it wasn't directly into his face. Able to get a hand up, though. Good reflexes by Babcock, and either way, Flames have another base runner.
Flames getting the breaks tonight, as here's Adam Gordon, the left fielder, who has flied out twice so far in this one, though he has not gotten a break to this point, unlike the rest of the team. Hit 1 home run distance his first time up down the right side, as that one just misses the outside corner, and off speed for ball 1. The count 1 ball and no strikes. And getting back to Michael Viveros, the heat just seemed to get to him tonight. 3 innings. He was hitting the zone, but he wasn't hitting it well. As the pitch finds its own, strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. And what I mean by well is with those unhittable pitches.
Yeah.
7 hits for the Flames in the first 3 innings. He struck out 2 guys, allowed 3 runs, 2 earned. As here's the 0-1. Gordon waves and misses at an off-speed pitch well out in front of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him. Purse working quickly. This is the third batter he's faced. He's already up to 9 pitches. So the Flames are staying aggressive, too. That's been the approach that has worked for them for the most part tonight. That aggressive approach has led them to score some runs. As Gordon bloops one to the left side, it drops between Maldonado and into left field for a base hit. Gordon on the board with the Flames' 8th or 9th hit of the night. We still don't have a scoring on the O'Connor play, but either way, the Flames have runners on first and second with 1 away.
And just like that, Adam Gordon with a little poke to get another base runner for the Flames. And let's see if they can string things together like they did back in the 3rd inning.
Gordon's hit the ball well tonight, but interestingly enough, the one time he doesn't hit a ball well, it turns into a base hit.
Right.
That's just baseball.
That's just the way it goes, man.
Well, here's a guy who's been hitting the ball well regardless tonight.
Yes, he has.
A pair of extra base hits for Brian Hart at the plate. He has driven in a run and scored a run. However, a breaking ball from Purse gets away from him and gets Hart on the left shoulder, and the bases are loaded now with 1 away. And that's just a pitch that got away from Purse, simply put.
Yeah. And again, anything could be a factor, and you have to imagine the sweating of the palms has to definitely affect the pitcher's grip on a ball.
And Hart has been hit by a pitch quite a bit so far this season. That's the 7th time
all the
the most
stats
on the team.
all the stats you want to lead categories in, that's definitely one you want to avoid. But he seems to be a tough guy out there on first base.
As the off-speed finds his own for strike one, and that's with the count 0-1. I disagree in a way. You
Really?
know, that's a good stat as a team player because it shows that, you know, you're crowding the plate, you're staying aggressive, and when a pitch gets away from the pitcher, you know, as Netzel lines one off the other bat, right side rather, and it's a base hit. All three base runners had to hold up initially, so O'Connor's the only one to score. And on another blooper, the Flames extend their advantage to 4.
The second RBI of the game for Mike Netzel, and this Flames team is, again, just keeping off the hot bat from last night and rolling into this evening's game, playing just as well.
Station to station, the base runners go, and now Jared Grosguth is up at the plate with the bases loaded and one away. It was a good start to the inning for Logan Purse, but it's another maybe error, maybe base hit that got the ball rolling for the Flames.
Yeah.
As the breaky ball from Purse is in there for a strike, the count 0-1, and that's what resulted in the Flames' third run of the game, the second in the last inning, when an error by the third baseman Babcock again, as the pitch finds the dirt for ball one, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. It was an error by Babcock, and the next batter, Colin Matthews, drove in a run with an RBI single into left center field, again on a blooper. Here's a 1-1, and Grosku takes a fastball on the outside corner. It's 1-2 strikes now.
And remember the issue early on in the season with this Flames team, leaving a lot of runners left on base. Today we're seeing them drive in a ton of runs. They've left a couple on so far in the game, but still for the most part driving more of them home than leaving them on.
1-2 breaking ball just missed the outside corner. Ball 2, the count 2 strikes. You're going to leave runners on base when you're getting chances and you're moving guys and scoring runs without, clearing the bases.
Right.
You don't get those clearing the base hits often as Grosku hits it in the air to center field. That looks deep enough to score a run. It's caught by Laviosa in center. All three tag, and the throw is to third. All runners are safe. Gordon scores, and the route is on now. It's 5-0 Flames with their second run of the inning. RBI sacrifice fly for Jared Grosguth, and for Grosguth, that is his 9th RBI of the season. So now runners are at second and third with 2 away. And that brings up the catcher, Jake Zurat. And Zurat on the year so far, he's driven in 5 to this point. Last night, also a good night for him. 2 for 5, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. As the off-speed finds the outside corner for strike 1, the count 0-1. Zurat was at the plate when that crucial 2-out error was made in the last inning. So good break for him. His last at-bat, a bad break before that. As a good fastball from Purse finds the outside corner, no balls and 2 strikes. And he's up to 20 pitches so far this inning. Flames have scored in 3 of the first 4 innings of this ball game. They have scored 2 to this point. 0-2 to Zurat. Breaking ball in the dirt. Horsfall keeps it in front of him. It's ball 1, the count 1-2 strikes. Now tomorrow the Flames will play the Rome Generals again. That'll be a 5 o'clock start here on Team Line with even worse conditions. It'll be a couple degrees warmer, and it'll be earlier in the day when the sun is out, as the fastball just misses the outside corner. 2 strikes. And then an interesting note on our broadcast for Monday night, which is a 5 o'clock start at Sherrill. We'll be talking about the All-Star game a little bit because the All-Star rosters will be announced earlier that day. As Zurat lines one down the right side, that is a fair ball. 2 runs will score. Zurat rounding first, heading for 2. The throw is cut off by Tatum, and then to Maldonado. Zurat's in safely with a 2-run double, and it's 7-0 early on. RBIs number 6 and 7 for Zurat. And the Flames are just running away with it now.
They really are. They're starting to pour it on, and that's exactly why Cortland's going to call time here to discuss things. But there could be, just to calm down everyone right now, but the Flames, I mean, you talk about being flaming hot. That's exactly what this ball club is, especially after last night and today. And the confidence, everyone is just having a good time, and everyone's getting involved on the hitting spree right now, Eric.
Well, we talk about the snowball effect, inning to inning, but how about throughout the game so far to this point? The Crush gave up a run in the first inning, nothing in the second, but it's starting to snowball on them, the runs by the Flames.
And the mental errors as well.
2 in the third after 1 in the first 2 innings, and then now 4 so far here in the 4th inning, and Colin Matthews has a chance to make it 8-0 perhaps. As here's the first one to him for Purse, and the off-speed pitch just misses lower third, but the home plate umpire says Matthews went. Strike 1, the count, no balls and 1 strike, or it was the other way around.
Yeah. Well, if Colin Matthews can get one into right center field, I mean, there's a huge gap between Laviosa and Ketch out there in the outfield.
Laviosa playing just to the left of dead center as Purse looks off the runner Zurot at second, and now Zurot, being a good distraction, forces Purse to step off the bump and the home plate umpire to call time. Matthews drove in a run in his last at-bat with an RBI single, a blooper into left center. As here's the 1-1 for Purse. The fastball is grounded hard towards third, snagged this time by Babcock. He throws to first in time for the out, and that will retire the side. But a crooked number on the scoreboard again for the Flames. It's 7-0 Onondaga through 4 here on Team Line.
Welcome back to Onondaga Community College as the Flames' offensive explosion back in the 4th inning puts them up 7-0 here going into the top of the 5th. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon and Connor Morrisroe coming out for his 5th inning of work, and Connor's looked very strong so far.
Well, it's its longest start of the season at this point for a reason.
Zach Kelly with a cut and a miss for strike number 1. Kelly had the ground out to McLean O'Connor back in the 2nd inning, but yeah, I mean, Morrisroe has really looked strong so far. First, the second pitch for Kelly popped foul out to the stand to see if a fan can get a hold of it. Unable to, it's going to bounce past them, and Zach Kelly quickly finds himself down 0-2 here after the first 2 aggressive cuts for this at-bat. 0-2 with no away. Flames lead 7-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. This one's going to bounce into the turf for ball 1. Kelly plays his college ball at Clark University. Let's see if the Clark University player can get on base. This one in there for a strikeout. That's going to be a strikeout looking for Zach Kelly, the 4th strikeout victim for Connor Morrisroe on the ball game, and the Flames continue to roll.
Well, the strikeouts have showed the dominance of Morrisroe tonight. Yes, he's only struck out 4 guys, but they're all of the looking variety, and every time it was a fastball on the inside or the outside corner.
And it looks like the home plate umpire is going to tell the Cortland Crush's dugout to chill out on a hot night. As, again, when it's just muggy outside, tempers can kind of get away from you. And let's see if that becomes an issue the rest of this ball game. Either way, Jimmy Tatum in the batter's box now for Cortland. First pitch from Morris Rowe, missing outside for ball. Jimmy Tatum batting a .310 on the season. He's 9 for 29 at the plate. Has scored a run, has a couple of doubles and a triple to his name so far. This pitch in there for strike one. Count goes to a ball and a strike on Tatum.
Well, and in a game like this in general, when a team is up by 7 or more runs, one of the teams is going to get frustrated.
Right. This one chopped back to McLean O'Connor to see if it's an easy pick. Should be there, but he's going to beat it out. Jimmy Tatum with the hustle play down the line, and then if the Cortland Crush are going to get back into this ball game, you have to see plays like that being made by your players.
Well, it's a combination of O'Connor taking his time and Tatum just hustling down the line. First hit of the night for Cortland.
Yeah. Showing off those wheels is Jimmy Tatum, the second baseman, for the first hit of the night. He's 1 for 2 now after he had to fly out to start the ball game. But Hayden Houts, the first baseman, up the bat next for the Cortland Crush. The strikeout victim. He struck out looking last time he was up the bat back in the second inning. Jimmy Tatum over at first with about a step lead off the first base bag. First pitch for Houts outside for ball 1. And with runners on base, Morris Rowe enjoys, keeping them honest over at first base. And I'll see if Jimmy Tatum, we saw the wheels on that last play. Let's see if he can get a stolen base attempt here, as doesn't have a ton on the season so far. This one popped foul down the left field line for strike number 1. And to be exact, he is 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts, Jimmy Tatum. But the Crush desperately need a runner in scoring position to cut back into this lead. As Morris Rowe takes a look over, steps off the rubber, steps back on. Tatum takes a step and a half lead off the first base bag. The 1-1, missing high for ball 2. Count goes to 2-1. So 2-1 count here on Hayden Houts with 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Jimmy Tatum over there at first base for Cortland with 1 down here. Let's see if Cortland can get back into this ball game. Morris Rowe with the 2-1. This one popped out. Let's see if Adam Gordon can get a play. And it's going to get down for at least a base hit. Hayden Houts is going to go to second. Jimmy Tatum's routing third. Jimmy Tatum's going home. Here's the throw. Let's see if Zarat can tag him. And he's safe. He beats the tag out. But, Eric, that is a questionable call. It looked like he was there in time. We'll see if head coach Mike Cordero has anything to say about it. And he does. And I immediately, the throw beat him in time for sure. Zarat had the tag down. But let's see what the play or what the home plate umpire has to say about it. It looked like Zarat got him, though.
Well, the play was close, and the one thing I want to see out of a catcher with a home plate tag is keep the hand low.
Yeah.
Keep that glove low so that a guy can't slide in the hand. The home plate umpire said that that Tatum slid his hand under the glove, at least in time with the tag.
Yeah.
For the run scored, and I wouldn't be surprised if the call stayed the same, but it looked like the tag was there just before a fingertip from Tatum even got the home plate.
And again, it's just the first run of the game for the Cortland Crush, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. It looks like they're gonna keep the score. So the Flames now lead the Cortland Crush 7-1 here in the top of the 5th inning after the RBI double from Hayden Houts.
And obviously, this is a call that the Flames would love to have, and also, one that seems pretty obvious to them, too, if Mike Cordero is still talking with the home plate umpire.
Well,
he's a calm guy. He's going to stop talking with the umpire, pretty quickly if it's just a close call, But that seemed pretty obvious to him.
For sure. How about the relay, though, from Adam Gordon to McLean O'Connor down to Jake Zarat? Almost had him in time.
Oh, it was great execution.
Either way, the Flames lead the Crush 7-1 here in the top of the 5th inning, bringing up Alex Babcock, who reached on a walk back in the 3rd inning. He was caught stealing third base, gunned down by Jake Zarat. So runner on second is Hayden Houts. 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Cortland trying to inch back into this ball game. This one should be down. Let's see if Adam Gordon can make a play. He's not going to be able to. So back-to-back plays. It's going to score runs for Cortland. An RBI single for Alex Babcock is going to score Hayden Houts. And just like that, Eric, it's 7-2.
Well, it's starting to get away from Morris Rowe a little bit because after he gave up the hit to Tatum, which can rattle you a little bit because it's an easy grounder, you think you have the second half of the inning, but Tatum hustling down the line, your guys, they take their time to get the throw off, and then now there's 1 out and 2 runs in for Cortland as a result. And here comes a good visit from Robert Anders to the mound to talk to Morris. So try and calm him down a little bit, but he looked great in the first 4 innings. He looked great to start this inning, and he's just trying to get back in that groove here.
He sure is. Alex Babcock collecting his 8th RBI on the season after that RBI single. And going back to the interview I had with Robert Anders, he talked to me and said that he preaches positivity out on the mound, which is a little bit unusual as a pitching coach, because usually they're out there saying, what the heck are you doing out there? Come on, like, get your head in the game here. And Robert Anders says he likes to be positive, saying you're doing a good job, and positive reinforcement seems to be working for this Flames bullpen.
Well, you can't be like me. You can't be too blunt to these guys, all right?
Sure thing.
But you have to be positive with them, because anything can rattle a pitcher, and you need your pitchers to win ball games.
I like the approach. Ben Horsfall up to bat now as the curveball is going to miss outside for ball number 1. Alex Babcock over there at first base, and 1 out here. Cortland starting to rally back into this one. 7-2 is the score. Flames lead. Babcock takes a 2.5-step lead off the first base bag. Morrisroe delivers the 1-0 in there for strike 1. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Horsfall coming into this ball game batting a .300. He had the flyout back in the 3rd inning. See if he can have a different result this time.
And obviously right now the Flames trust him because nobody's warming up in the pen.
And Babcock is going to second base. The throw is not in time as it bounces off the glove of Brian Hart. Good throw by Jake Surratt, just unable to connect with Brian Hart. And just like that, Alex Babcock is in scoring position.
Well, the throw was on time, but it was a low rush by Surratt, so he didn't, put enough on it, so it turned into a bouncer and it tipped off the glove of Hart.
Right.
Even if Hart's able to snag it, I don't think the tag is there in time.
2 balls and 1 strike as that last pitch missed outside. Babcock in scoring position now. Going to go to 3-1 after that pitch. So let's see if Ben Horsfall can reach on a walk here. Keep this thing going for Cortland, as suddenly the switch has been flipped and Cortland has found some gold here in the top of the 5th inning. Connor Morrisroe gets the sign from Surratt. See if he can settle back in. The 3-1. This one popped back towards the screen. And now he's got himself into a full count here with Horsfall. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away with 1 on. 1 runner on. Second base is Alex Babcock. Horsfall has 3 RBIs to his name so far this season. See if he can collect his 4th. 3-2 payoff, but before that, Connor Morrisroe is going to step off the rubber to keep Alex Babcock honest over at second base. No one warming up in the bullpen for the Flames so far, so Robert Anders still believes in Morrisroe to at least get out of this inning. 3-2 payoff, missing high, and just like that, Horsfall is going to reach on a walk. Second walk surrendered in the ball game by Morrisroe. Nice at-bat there from Horsfall, though. Bringing up Iset Maldonado, who had the ground out last time he was up in the 3rd inning.
And we seem to be seeing a snowball effect here on the Flames side. Now, with the Crush, 2 runs on the board, 4 batters in a row for each base.
This one chopped foul down the left field line for strike 1 for Iset Maldonado. But, yeah, on a hot night, it's just the way it can go sometimes. Luckily, the Flames have a decent lead still, 7-2, the score to be exact here in the top of the 5th inning. As Chris Burnett slides to get that foul ball out in left field territory.
He's doing his best Riley Glenn impersonation.
For sure. The 0-1, missing high for Iset Maldonado, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Runners on first and second. Horsfall's over at first, and Babcock's on second base. So 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 away. Runners on first and second. Cortland's put up 2 runs in the inning so far. Let's see if the Flames can stop the bleeding, so to say. The 1-1. Cut on, see if it gets in foul territory, and it does. Just getting in foul territory as Adam Gordon was hustling over there to pick up that ball. But luckily for the Flames, that one's going to bounce foul, and we'll do the 1-2 count for Iset Maldonado.
And if that gets down in fair territory, that's a tough play for Gordon to make because the ball was going to hook foul anyway, whether it bounced in fair territory or not.
Right.
On a bouncer. So, and it would have been a tough play to make for Gordon because it was going to get pretty close to the fence.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 away. Runners on first and second. Here's the 1-2. Runners going. Zarat, the throw to third. Not in time. And Horsfall with a nice piece of base running is going to advance to second base. So double steal was on. And now Cortland Crush have 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, and that's a good jump at second base by Babcock. You know, the throw is just to the left of Groskuth, but even if that throw is perfectly on target, the glove is right there in time.
Right.
Babcock would have been there safely.
2 balls, 2 strikes. This one, Iset Maldonado is going to get in, drive in some more runs. Babcock's going to score. Horsfall's going to hold up at third. Iset in between first and second goes back to first. So an RBI single for Iset Maldonado. And Eric, the lead is now 7-3. Starting to dwindle down just a little bit, but let's see how things play out. No one warming up in the bullpen for the Flames, and just like that, the Flames explode for 4 runs in the bottom of the fourth. Cortland answers back with 3 in the top of the fifth, and there's only 1 out.
Well, they have to get somebody up soon because this snowball effect is in the works right now. Gabe Golub has been up in the pen, you know, at times. We haven't seen him pitch since June 17th after that sore arm.
Morrisville's going to step off the bag, the fake throw to third, and check at first, but he holds on to it.
But he might come in tonight, but he's normally a starter for the Flames.
Yeah.
He has only started to this
He
point.
needs to work back into the rotation, so coming in as a reliever would be the way to do that. First pitch for Palmo, missing high, and Jake Zarak has a piece of it. But Cortland, I mean, just like that, before you know it, they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and now they're just seeing everything really well, collecting some hits and some walks, and you know, with runners in scoring position, players are coming through for this team, and just like that, no lead is safe in this league, that's for sure.
No lead is ever safe in the NYCBL, especially when you're dealing with the Cortland Crush, one of the better offenses in the league. You know, they succeed with their offense.
And they're definitely an underrated team heading towards the halfway point of the season, or I should say that they're going into 3/4 of the season here. I mean, Cortland is definitely an underrated team, could easily sneak into the playoffs as Morris Road checks on Iset Maldonado at first base.
Cortland reminds me of a team from the Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League, which reminds me of the DC Grays, a team that, you know, their record may not be the greatest, but you can never count them out in any game or in any season.
This pitch way inside, almost tagging Palmo, but Zarat doing a nice job. And that's definitely, we talk about player development one more time. Jake Zarat, I mean, before when he started a couple of games early in the season for the Flames, pass ball after pass ball. I mean, now he's out of that crouch so fast and keeping the ball in his reach after the pitch is thrown. This pitch missing high, count goes to 3-0, and we'll see if anyone's going to come in for Morrisville if he walks this next batter. Could load the bases up if he does so. 1 away. Palmo can be aggressive, though. If it's a cookie over the middle, he might take it to try to cut some more into this lead. This one in there for strike 1, and Connor Morrisville finds the strike zone here. As Gabe Golub continues to warm up. Not sure if he's going to be the reliever, but from this point, it looks like he's the only guy up right now. 3 balls, 1 strike with 1 away, runners on the corners. This one chopped foul down the right field line. Count goes to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Morrisville is closing in on 30 pitches this inning, so you know he's tired out there. It's still, the sun is going down. It's not quite sunset yet, but it's still pretty hot out there.
Oh, yeah, at least it's got to be in the mid-80s still, so.
Which would mean about 100 on the field, given the turf.
Right. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Morrisville's going to check Iset Maldonado one more time. And again, you have to be very careful when you're checking over at first base, because if that one gets away from Peterson, easy runner scoring from third would be Babcock. But Peterson does his job, is able to corral it. Now, 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away. Let's see if Morrisville can deliver the payoff pitch as he does the fake to third, steps off the mound one more time, and let's see if he can throw the pitch this time. So we'll do the 3-2 one more time here. Joe Palmo at the batter's box for the Cortland Crush. 3-2 payoff. This one chopped right to Trace Peterson's going to go off his arm, scoring another run for Cortland. An error in E3. Here comes Iset Maldonado. Still throw isn't in. Iset's going to hold up at third, and just like that, an E3 scores another run for the Cortland Crush. The lead is now 7-4.
And that's one Trace Peterson wants to have back. It's not an error if he puts his body in front of it. The ball took a bit of a bounce to his left, but if he keeps the body in front of that ball, it's at least an out of first base.
Right.
And the run may have scored on the play regardless, but now a run is in, and it's a 3-run ball game suddenly.
So Ben Horsfall is going to score from third base. Iset Maldonado is out at third. Robert Anders is going to relieve Connor Morrisroe, and we're going to step aside for a quick break. We'll get you up to speed with who's on the mound right after this. Well, welcome back here in the top of the fifth inning. Flames changing pitchers. Connor Morrisroe's evening is over after 4 1/3 innings of work. Gabe Golob on the mound for the Flames. We haven't seen him in quite some time after his arm was pretty sore for a while, but looks to be back. Let's see how he plays the reliever role with the runners on second and third. Dylan Ketch up the bat here for the Cortland Crush, trying to cut back into this lead even more. Put up 4 runs here in the top of the fifth so far. Only 1 out. First pitch from Golob, chopped foul down the left field line for strike 1. And, Eric, what have you liked from Gabe in his outings earlier in the season?
Well, he's shown an ability to hit the strike zone. He has a good fastball, and he has been dominant at times. His start against Genesee, for example, first 5 innings, just like Connor Morrisroe's first 4 tonight, and then just an inning that snowballed on him, and he gave up 3 runs.
0-1, missing high. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. But you're absolutely right about that, Eric. And it's just sometimes it's hard to say when's it time to pull the plug on a pitcher on any given night. Morrisroe maybe went a batter or two too far, but he did a really nice job through 4 innings. Curveball missing way high, and the count goes to 2-1.
And for Golob, it's his first relief outing of the year, so he's coming out of the bullpen and inheriting a really tough situation. Catches a tie and run at the plate right now, and 2 runners are in scoring position with just 1 away, and in what turned into a 3-run ball game after the Flames entered the inning up 7-0. So it's a much different mindset than just starting a ball game.
Yeah. We'll see how he can adjust to this situation. 2-1. Right down the middle, see McLean O'Connor is going to get over fire at the first for out number 2, but that's going to score another run. So the ground out to first scores Iset Maldonado, and the lead is now 7-5. Cortland has put up 5 runs here in the top of the 5th inning.
And if you're the Flames, you take it. You trade an out for the run if you get that ground ball, though you would prefer an unproductive out to keep that run off the scoreboard, but you just take it at this point. You only have 1 more out to get out of the inning, and you're trying to preserve the lead at this point.
Well, Nelson Laviosa at the plate now. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Cortland's batted all the way around now here in the top of the 5th inning. But Laviosa is no stranger to the RBI. He has 13, which is tied for second on the team. See if he can get his 14th. This one's a pop straight up. Should end the inning. See who gets underneath. It looks like Colin Matthews out there for out number 3. So Gabe Golob does his job, takes care of business. But Cortland slices back into the 7-0 lead. Score is now Flames 7, Crush 5. And we're going to step aside right here on Team Line. Well, here we are back at Onondaga Community College for the bottom of the 5th inning. And if you're just tuning in, you just missed all the action as the Flames put a 4 spot in the bottom of the 4th. And then Cortland answers with a 5 spot in the top of the 5th inning. See if the Flames can respond. Trace Peterson will lead things off. 8-9-1 will be the batters for the Flames. First pitch missing outside for ball 1.
On the final line for Connor Morris, throw for the Flames is 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 5 runs, all earned.
As this one, let's see if this one gets down. It's going to get past Iset, Maldonado, and Babcock for a base hit, and just like that, the Flames try to catch fire one more time. As last time they put the 4 spot up, see if they can do a similar outing here. Just need to add some more runs to the lead, and like I mentioned, with Jack Chernow digging his spikes in, no lead is safe in the NYCBL.
Oh, it's a good job by Peterson on that pitch, too, because that's on the outer part of the plate, maybe a little off, but he fought it off because he only got it with the end of the bat.
Yeah.
Through the left side for a base hit. And getting back to Morris, throw, his first 4 innings were dominant.
Yeah, they sure were. Sometimes it's not about how you start, but it's about how you finish, and he just wasn't able to finish the ballgame the way he wanted to. First pitch on Chernow in there for strike 1.
It's unfortunate, really, because he had such a great start tonight.
Yeah.
4 innings, 3 runs was his best start throughout the season. So far, as the thrower to first was not in time.
Yeah.
And, he had struggled a bit. So to see this out of him in the first 4 innings was great, and then the snowball effect just got him in the 5th inning, which was unfortunate to see from up here.
Checked over at first base one more time as Trace Pearson, not in time. But Jack Chernow, steady Eddie, aggressive Eddie, as Eric mentioned earlier in the ballgame, as he had that bunt to get his first hit of the ballgame in the 2nd inning. This one popped out to left field. See if Joe Palmo can bring it in, and he will for out number 1. So the fly out to left field for out number 1, bringing up the top of the order in McLean O'Connor, who is 2 for 3 on the night, and he's having a fantastic outing here for the Flames. This guy is starting to find his rhythm here in his 5th game on the season.
Well, and the Flames really need a hit here, or at least O'Connor's got to get Peterson in scoring position, because after the Crush put up 5 in the last half inning, you have to get at least 1 on the board to stop the momentum.
Yeah, you sure do. See what Purse has in store for O'Connor. He squares the bunt. This one's going to get away from him, though, and bounce behind home plate for strike 1.
Interesting reaction by the catcher, Horsfall. He went the other way of where the ball was going from behind home plate. He just put up that right arm and leaned to the left. That was interesting. Looked like he was trying to do half of the YMCA for a second.
0-1's the count here on O'Connor. Trace Peterson over at first base, 1 away. Flames lead 7-5. The 0-1 Purse shakes off a couple of pitches, and now he finds the one he likes as the home plate umpire. His time is called by McLean O'Connor. Wasted pitch there by Purse. Took some time shaking off a couple of pitches, but now back underway here. 0-1 count on McLean as he squared the bunt and got away from him. This one cut on, and here, let's see if the third baseman Babcock can make a play, and he will. But it does, just as Eric mentioned, it advances Trace Peterson in the scoring position. Now it's time for the hot bat to come through. Adam Gordon, who's coming off the single that scored a run later in the inning. He was part of that 4-run spree we saw back in the 4th inning.
Well, and that play by O'Connor, the ground out, just as good as a bunt.
Yeah.
And it looked like, a more well-hit bunt, basically.
Yeah.
It was just a little chopper to the left side, past the pitcher. Good play by Babcock to get him out at first.
So Adam Gordon, who 1 for 3 on the night so far, flew out to left and flew out to center in his first 2 at-bats, but had a hit in the 4th inning. Trace Peterson out second, 2 away. First pitch in the turf, 4-1. As the night continues here, temperatures still pretty toasty out there on the field. Mentioning it's about 20 degrees warmer on the field than it is just sitting outside the stadium. 1 ball, no strikes. Purse shakes off another pitch and delivers. Cut on and missed for strike number 1 for Adam Gordon.
But the approach tonight for the Flames, for the most part, has been aggressiveness. At the plate, it's worked for them so far. They've been sticking to it so far this inning. They need to stick to it to get another run on the board at least.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here it is, and it's going to be chopped just off the end of his bat. Now it's a 1-2 count here for Adam Gordon. But let's see. Purse can get another strikeout. He has 1 strikeout victim so far in the ball game. See if he can collect another one here.
Well, that's the second time tonight I've seen that off-speed pitch really fool Gordon. This time he was able to get a piece of it,
Yeah.
but he was well out in front of it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on second is Trace Peterson with 2 away. Flames lead 7-5 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The 1-2. This one chopped easy over to Jimmy Tatum. Should be out number 3, and it is. So Flames unable to add any more runs to their lead, and just like that, this is a whole new ball game. We're going to step aside with the 6th inning coming up next. Welcome back here in the top of the 6th inning. Flames lead the Cortland Crush 7-5. Gabe Golub comes out for his 2nd inning of work, and Zach Kelly will lead things off here for Cortland. Zach Kelly is 0 for 2 on the night. It was a strikeout victim to Connor Morrisroe last time we saw Zach Kelly. As the infield in normal position right now, Gabe Golub's first pitch against Kelly. Tags him, and it's a hit by pitch. Kelly sprinting to first base, and man, just got him inside. Might have tagged him in the ribs. Looks to be okay, though. So not the start that Gabe Golub wanted to have here in the top of the 6th. But, again, if you're just tuning in, you missed all the action in this ball game so far as the Flames put a 4 spot in the bottom of the 4th inning, and then top 5, Cortland put up 5 runs. Here we are on top of the 6th inning. Flames have that 2-run lead. Zach Kelly hit by a pitch, and now Jimmy Tatum digs his spikes into the batter's box. First pitch from Golob, missing outside for ball 1. But a hot and sticky night here in central New York, and Flames are trying to battle through it as they had a commanding lead. Checked over at first base is Zach Kelly, not in time. But the Flames had a commanding lead. They're up 7-0, and Cortland suddenly were able to chop right back into it, and now it's 7-5. Flames trying to hold on. This one inside is going to tag another batter, and just like that, Cortland has the tying run on base with Jimmy Tatum after a back-to-back hit by pitches. And Gabe Golob needs to find his rhythm. Again, this is the first appearance from Gabe Golob in quite some time, as he had some time off after dealing with a sore right arm, as Jared Grosguth and him exchanged some words, just giving him a boost of confidence after hitting a couple of batters. Let's see if Hayden Houts can drive in some runs for Cortland, as he's already proven to do so far tonight. Had the RBI double back in the 5th inning. See if Hayden can do something like that once again. Flames trying to hold on to this lead. Had a hot start to the game, and then have cooled off since the 4th inning. Golob gets the sign from Zarat, and the first pitch for Houts is outside, bouncing into the turf, and that's ball 1. Gabe Golob out of NYU has played terrific ball so far this season. Started the first game of the season for the Flames. Looks like Chris Burnett warming up in the bullpen for the Flames. I'm sure Gabe has a longer leash than that, though, as that pitch misses outside for ball number 2 on Hayden Houts. Hayden's 1 for 2 on the evening so far with the RBI double. But Gabe started the first game of the season, was able to pick up his first win of the season against the Syracuse Saltcats, and we saw him against Genesee as well and against the Saltcats again later in the season. That pitch misses outside, and now a hitter's count. 3 balls, no strikes for Hayden Houts. But Gabe has been consistent on the mound, hasn't done anything too crazy out there on the mound to have a black mark by his name. Gave up 5 runs in 1 ball game, but stayed in that game and was able to battle back. 3-0, missing outside, and just like that, back-to-back hit by pitches and a walk surrendered, and the Cortland Crush they could flip the script here if they could unload the bases. Robert Anders calls time to discuss things, and it's a smart timeout by Robert Anders because things could get away from Gabe Golob here in a hurry. There are no outs, and the bases are juiced for Cortland, as up the bat is going to be Alex Babcock. So Alex Babcock in the so Jimmy Flahive warming up in the bullpen as well for the Flames. Flahive appeared in the game last night, only pitched an inning though, so his arm is rather fresh. And Robert Anders, again, always preaching positivity out there on the mound. See if his positive words of encouragement can do Gabe Golob a favor, as Gabe had hit Zach Kelly with a pitch, hit Jimmy Tatum with a pitch, and then walked Hayden Houts on 4 straight balls thrown. So Alex Babcock, who's 1 for 1 on the evening so far, had the RBI single back in the 5th inning, reached on a walk in the 3rd. Has a chance to give Cortland, or at least tie the ball game up here with a base knock. The first pitch from Golob in there for a strike 1, and that's what I asked pitching coach Robert Anders about his approach during those mound visits, and I'll get to the stories in a second as Zarat sets up outside. Babcock's going to pop one up foul, and now a pitcher's count here for Gabe Golob as it's an 0-2 count. But Robert Anders said that he preaches positivity because, well, it just seems to work a little bit better than, hounding someone and telling them that they're doing a terrible job and keeping their head in the game. So Gabe Golob fires back with back-to-back strikes and see if he can get out number 1 here. The 0-2 popped foul down the right field line. Colin Matthews isn't going to give it chase, though, and we'll do the 0-2 one more time. But it seems like immediately after every single mound visit, the next pitch is a strike, or the next pitch is, an easy pick for the defense. So it just really pays off when Robert Anders makes those mound visits. No balls with 2 away. Here's the pitch cut on, foul down the third base line, and just like that, Babcock is fighting his way back into this at-bat as just as Cortland should do here. So he's 1 for 1 on the evening, the third baseman. Had an error in the ball game in the field as he was unable to corral a ground ball that had a nasty hop down the third base line. The 0-2. This one's cut on and missed, and Gabe Golob, except he wasn't able to hang on to it. So we're going to hold things up, and Alex Babcock, just when you think Gabe Golob's going to get his first out of the inning, Jake Surratt drops the strike 3, and we'll do the 0-2 one more time. See if Gabe can fire back with another strike. Bases loaded here with no outs in the top of the 6th inning. Gabe Golob gets the sign from Jake Surratt. Here's the 0-2. Cut on and fouled, and just like that, Alex Babcock is having a heck of an at-bat. Cortland horsing around, chasing down that foul ball, but Gabe Golob doing a terrific job so far, but struggling just a little bit here to start the top of the 6th inning. 0-2 count here. Alex Babcock trying to weigh down a pitch and drive in some runs. This one cut on and missed. That one's going to count for out number 1. So finally, Gabe Golob strikes out his first batter of the ball game. It's Alex Babcock going down on strikes, and they're 1 away with bases loaded, bringing up Ben Horsfall. Horsfall 0 for 1 on the ball game so far. Reached on a walk, a Connor Morrisrow walk, came around to score one of the 5 runs for Cortland. First pitch for Horsfall in the turf for ball 1. Horsfall, the catcher this evening out of St. Anselm College, trying to be a difference maker in this ball game. Bases loaded, the 1-0. In there for strike 1. Count evens up at a ball and a strike on Gabe, pitcher out of NYU. Gabe is quite the personality as well. He's a part of the terrific shenanigans that you see in the post-game interviews. The 1-1 popped up. See if Gabe can call him off. Trace Peterson underneath it, and he collects it for out number 2. And just like that, the Flames getting out of a jam almost. I shouldn't speak too soon, but they have 2 outs now with bases loaded. Just need 1 more, and there are force outs all around. Bringing up Iset Maldonado, another player who has had some success in this ball game. He's 1 for 2 on the evening. Had the RBI single in his last at-bat. Came around to score one of the 5 runs as well for Cortland. Bases juiced here. This one popped foul down the right field line for strike 1, and Gabe Golob getting ahead of the count. And Gabe's doing what Gabe does. He's pounds the strike zone. That's the kind of pitcher he is. There's some nights where he can strike out quite a few batters, but it's not all on strikeouts for Gabe Golob. It's just, letting the fielders do their job, as this one might get down for trouble, and it will. So 1 will score. Let's see if the tying run's there, and Peterson's going to cut it off, and just like that, it's a tie ball game. So right when you think they're going to get out of it, Iset Maldonado has the 2 RBI single to tie the ball game up, and Cortland has battled all the way back from being down 7 runs to tie the game at 7 here in the top of the 6th inning. Just like that. I mean, man, this game can change so fast. And now Joe Palmo is going to dig his spikes into the batter's box. But just like that, Cortland right back in it here with 2 away. Joe Palmo up to bat 0 for 3 on the night so far. First pitch missing low for ball 1. But back-to-back successful innings for Cortland. Put up 7 runs in 2 innings after going 4 innings straight without scoring a run. Golob getting the sign from Surratt. Runners on first and second. This one cut on and missed. And the count goes to 1-2. Golob still trying to get out of here, but runner in scoring position. That's Hayden Houts. Iset Maldonado over at first. 1-2. Missing inside for ball 2. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Cortland is a team that Eric mentioned earlier in the broadcast is just, you can never count them out. And just like tonight, Flames have a 7-0 lead, and in 2 innings they're able to tie it back up. Gabe checking on Houts, and here's the 2-2 delivery. This one should be easy pickings for Brian Hart. Scoops it up, gives it to Trace Peterson for out number 3, but the damage is done. Cortland has tied up this ball game. The score is Onondaga Flames 7, Cortland Crush 7, heading into the bottom of the 6th on Team Line. Well, welcome back to Onondaga Community College as I'm Morgan Chapman bringing you the bottom of the 6th inning. Fireworks have exploded here at Onondaga Community College as a bunch of runs have been scored. And Cortland has battled all the way back, down 7 runs to tie the ball game up just like that in 2 innings. As the change has been made in the field for Cortland, Justin Valentine is the catcher now behind the plate. His Purse is back on the mound. This is Brian Hart. This one's grounded over to Iset Maldonado. Fired to first base. Brian Hart beats it out. So Brian Hart continues his successful night. He's 3 for 3 now with an RBI. Bringing up Mike Netzel. Mike Netzel is 1 for 2 on the night, but he does have 2 RBIs to his name. Flames trying to get some more offense here, as you think 7 runs is enough to win a ball game, but not here tonight. Flames put up 7 in the first 4 innings, and then the Cortland puts up 7 in the 5th and the 6th together. Brian Hart with a stolen base step. No one's there over the bag. That ball's going to tag Brian Hart in the back of the leg. As no one was covering second base, Brian Hart's easily in there with a stolen base. And just like that, the Flames have a runner in scoring position with Mike Netzel, who is no stranger to the RBI. Already has 2 of them in this ball game. So Brian Hart reaches second base on a stolen base attempt. And now he's really toying with the pitcher. Mike Netzel gets a hold of this one, but it's just going to be a very long strike as it goes down the left field line out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count here on Mike Netzel, as the Flames just trying to cut back, or I should say regain the lead after blowing a 7-0 lead, something we've seen the Flames do before throughout this season, blow a large lead. Brian Hart toying with Purse, might be there, he's back in time, but just barely. Man, Brian Hart is feeling himself out there at second base. He's 3 for 3 on the night and starting to become a distraction as well, doing his part in all areas of this ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike here for Mike Netzel. Netzel trying to drive in a run. This changeup is going to miss high, and the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count here. Brian Hart out there on second base reached on a single to start the bottom of the 6th inning. Purse checks on Hart, delivers a 2-1. This one chopped foul down the right field line. Count goes to 2-2 on Mike Netzel. As Cortland, I mean, this is a team that you can never count out, and they proved that themselves again tonight to be worthy of that comment, as they're able to battle all the way back from 7-0 to tie it up. Purse checks on Brian Hart as he's still toying with him. This one popped foul back towards the screen one more time. And we talk about quality at-bats. Mike Netzel is probably the team's leader in quality at-bats this season, just off the top of my head, as he has collected 18 walks, which is tied with Jack Chernow. And just behind them is Brian Hart with 13 walks. 2-2. Bouncing in the turf, Brian Hart's easily going to get it to third base as he slides in on a pass ball. But so the count goes to 3-2. Brian Hart's on third base, trying to break this tie. And Mike Netzel is the man that is able to do it. Let's see if he can reach on a walk just to get on base, or if he can drive in a run. Head coach Mike Cordero giving some instruction to Brian Hart out at third base. The 3-2 payoff way outside, and it's not the 3-2 payoff, excuse me, it's the 2-2 count. Now it's going to be a 3-2 count. So 3 balls, 2 strikes as the umpire corrects the scoreboard. This will be the payoff now. Payoff, missing low, and just like that, Mike Netzel collects walk number 16 on the season. Jared Groskuth coming up the bat next, and there's time is called as a timeout is needed here from Cortland as the first 2 batters have reached on the base, and now Brian Hart is a problem out at third base. Jared Groskuth is having a pretty nice night to himself. He's 1 for 2 on the ball game and has a sac fly RBI as well. So, see if a pitching's changed, and it is a pitching change. Number 62 is going to come into the ball game. We're going to step aside and let him warm up. I'll have more information on him right after this. So the pitcher now is Daniel Steve out of Cayuga College on the mound as the pitching change was made. Purse's afternoon is over, I should say evening. Runners on the corner is Mike Netzel and Brian Hart at third base. So Mike Netzel and Brian Hart, first and third, no outs. So Jared Grosguth here at the plate. Jared Grosguth, another guy. Eric mentioned the power that Brian Hart has shown, and Jared Grosguth has shown his power as well throughout the season. First pitch for Grosguth way outside for ball one. As Justin Valentine comes in to catch for the Cortland Crush, number 15. That change was made at the beginning of this inning. 1 ball, no strikes here. As Grosguth waits the pitch from Steve. This pitch held by Valentine for just a second, but it's going to miss the zone for ball 2. Count goes to 2-0. Grosguth has 2 home runs on the season, 3 triples, 7 RBIs coming into this ball game. Already has 1 more, so he has 8 on the season. Could get 9 here. This pitch missing low, and this is not the way you want to start your outing for Daniel Steve. Runners on the corners and throws 3 straight balls to start his outing in the ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. Mike Netzel on first, Brian Hart on third. Flames and Crush tied at 7 here in the bottom of the 6th. This pitch in there for strike 1. Nice bounce back pitch there from Daniel Steve hitting the strike zone. The pitcher out of Cayuga College. 3 balls, 1 strike. Let's see if Grosguth can get a hold of one, or he'll hold off and make Steve hit the strike zone. And he does get a hold of it, but it's going to go foul down the right field line. Now he's in a full count. Steve works himself right back into it here, trying to collect his first strikeout victim of the ball game after just coming in to relieve. Mike Cordero giving some more advice to Brian Hart over at third. Steve checks on Netzel at first. 3-1 is the count. Valentine gives him the sign. Here's the 3-1. This one way high, and that's going to be a walk, so Jared Grosguth is going to reach on a walk. Load up the bases, Flames fans, because here we go. Jake Surratt in a huge position to break the tie. Bases loaded. He has the double, which drove in 2 runs, back in the 4th inning. Reached on an error in the 3rd, and had the slow ground out in the 2nd. Jake Surratt in a huge position for the Flames right now. He could be able to break the tie. He has 5 RBIs coming into this ball game. Could easily pick up number 6 and number 7 with the speed that Brian Hart and Mike Netzel have. This one missing high at his head. Ducks to get out of the way. Ball 1. Daniel Steve continues to struggle. As his first batter faced was Jared Grosguth, he walked him. Now throws ball 1, and Jimmy Tatum giving him some words of encouragement. Not as many mound visits as you think the Cortland Crush would have in this ball game, as Daniel Steve just coming out there, so he doesn't need one, but we'll see if he can get out of this jam. 1-0. This one cut foul down the right field line. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Bases loaded with no outs here. Flames and Crush tied at 7. Flames already have 13 hits. According to the scoreboard, I'll have to check that in my scorebook after this inning, but it should be 13 hits. And the Crush have 5, so it is 13 hits for the Flames. Really seeing the ball well tonight. The 1-1, Jake Surratt's going to watch it blow by, and it's a good call because it's a ball. Count goes to 2-1. And Surratt doesn't have to do anything crazy here. He can really work the count and walk in a run if he needs to. Daniel Steve is now forced to throw strikes. 2-1 with Brian Hart toying with him. This one missing outside, and just like that, it's a 3-1 hitters count. Jake Surratt just doing his thing, holding off on these pitches, and Justin Valentine's going to go out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. Surratt has 6 walks on the season, so he's another guy who has a decent amount of quality at-bats for this ball club. As I mentioned, Jake Surratt has really found his comfort zone over the last week and a half or so. Had the rocky start to the season, but then I believe it was the night he won NYCBL Player of the Night was the turning point in the season for him. After that, he started to find his place and his role on this team. 3-1. Steve needs to hit the strike zone here, and Jake Surratt gets a hold of that one, but it's going to go foul now. Steve just needs to throw one more pitch to get the first out of the inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes with bases loaded. This is probably the best moment in any baseball game. as the pitcher really needs to be focused here and hit the strike zone, but you can't leave anything over the plate for Zarat to get in fair territory. 3-2 payoff. Right down the middle, Zarat over to Jimmy Tatum. It should score one run. This is going to be on the second for one, and not in time as Zarat gets on base. The RBI single is going to break the tie. Flames go ahead 8-7. Excuse me, it's going to be a fielder's choice RBI because the runner is out at second base. But so Jared Groskuth is out, but the fielder's choice RBI is going to get Jake Zarat and the Onondaga Flames the lead 8-7. Bringing up Colin Matthews. Colin Matthews not having the best night, but he is 1 for 3 with an RBI. But he could add more to that total here. This one popped way up, and Dylan Ketch ranging over, but it's going to get out of play, and the count will go to 0-1 on Colin Matthews, the Kent State player. And I tell you, my favorite part about summer ball is the ability for a player to, one, build confidence, and then mold into the player that they're going to be throughout their 4-year college career. Colin Matthews has the opportunity to do just that, and he's proven to do that all season long. 0-1, Mike Netzel on third. This pitch chopped right back to Steve. Should be down, and this one's going to bounce off the second base bag. Mike Netzel's going to score. So an RBI single for Colin Matthews. Now he has 2 hits in the ball game and 2 RBIs. Flames now lead 9-7. Trace Peterson up the bat next. He's having a heck of a ball game as well, as most of these batters are. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles. Hasn't scored any runs yet, though. Been stranded on base twice. He struck out. He was a strikeout victim back in the third inning. So, Colin Matthews on first, Jake Zarat on second with 1 away, and Trace Peterson has the opportunity to drive in some more runs, as Zarat has a pretty good lead. Daniel Steve missing outside for ball 1, and it's funny. Eric talked about this earlier, as he's not on the mic right now, but this is just the inconsistency. Cortland would be such a better team if they had a couple more pitchers that could find the strike zone, as we see Daniel Steve start to struggle here. This pitch missing outside, or this was missing the outside corner, but it's going to be in there for strike 1, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. But Cortland, they have the offense that can score a bunch of runs. We saw that back in the 4th and the 5th, or the 5th and the 6th, I should say, where they put up 7. This pitch cut on down to the third baseman, Babcock. He's going to step on the bag for out number 2, and he's going to hold it. So Trace Peterson's going to reach on a fielder's choice. But smart play there by Babcock, getting out Jake Zarat at third. So Jack Cherno, 1 for 2 on the night. Strikeout victim and a flyout victim, but it had the bunt single back in the second inning. But again, getting back to my point, I mean, Cortland would be a totally different team if they had a couple better relievers on this pitching staff. Not to knock any of the pitchers that have played in this ballgame so far, but they clearly have the offensive firepower to get the job done. Cherno squares the bunt, but it's going to be popped up and fouled for strike number 1. Cherno, a.k.a. Steady Eddie, a.k.a. Aggressive Eddie, according to Eric Moon, has done his part this season to really be a strong leadoff candidate for this ball club, batting 9th this evening. But again, he's another guy that's so reliable in the field. Night in and night out in center field, he's always hustling to the ball. Has a pretty decent set of wheels on him as well. 0-1 count here. Runners on first and second with 2 away. Flames lead 9-7 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Steve gets the sign from Valentine. Here's the 0-1. Cherno's going to slowly chop it off his foot down the right field line, and the count quickly goes to 0-2. Cherno trying to get his second hit of the ball game and trying to stay alive to bring McLean O'Connor up to back at the top of the order. Peterson on first, Colin Matthews on second. 0-2 count here for the batter Jack Cherno out of Columbia. Daniel Steve gets the sign from Valentine. McLean O'Connor on deck for the Flames. See if Cherno can get out of this situation. 0-2 is the count. Here's the 0-2. He's going to watch it go by, and he's going to be a strikeout victim. So Daniel Steve gets out of the inning, but not before the damage is done. Flames put up 2 more runs, break the tie, and now Onondaga Flames lead 9-7 heading into the top of the 7th inning, where Eric Moon will be taking over play-by-play duties right here on Team Line.
Welcome back to Flames Baseball on Team Line. 9-7. The Flames lead the Crush after 6 innings of play. We're just 2/3 of the way through the game, and we've seen 16 total runs already. It shows you that the humidity's having a bit of an effect tonight, because it does have an effect on the ball. The ball carries a little more, and I expected some offense tonight, but not quite this much through 6 innings.
And that's exactly what you predicted, though. You said that it's going to be some more runs than we're used to seeing, and we saw 7 runs scored before the 5th inning. So just a heck of an effort by the Flames and the Crush so far.
Chris Burnett is the new pitcher for the Flames on the bump, and Dylan catches the batter. He scores up the bunt, lays it down. Burnett guns it to first, not in time to get catch. He legs out a bunt single to lead off the 7th inning, and the Crush now brings up the tying run to the plate.
And you have to love that play from Burnett and Catch, both hustling to the ball, and Catch just being able to beat it out probably by a step or two.
It looked like a tie at the bag, and of course in baseball, the tie goes to the runner. So that brings up Nelson Laviosa, and the numbers for Burnett on the year look like this. He's played in 7 games, appeared in 7 games as the throw to first was not in time. 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned. 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, and he has no record so far on the season. As the first one of Laviosa is a swing and a miss at an off-speed for strike 1. The count is 0-1. Now Burnett was one of the 2 best relievers, arguably, for this Flames squad after 5 outings on the year. He and Jimmy Flahive were the 2 guys to go to in the bullpen if it wasn't the 9th inning, as the breaking ball finds the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes.
And you could probably argue that Chris Burnett probably throws one of the hardest fastballs on this team. He has a nasty windup, and he's probably throwing around the at least high 80s, low 90s.
But in the last 2 outings for Burnett, he has struggled a little bit. Allowed 2 runs against the Spartans, and then 1 in his last outing as the throw to first was not in time. But that 90-mile-per-hour fastball, maybe even a mile per hour or 2 faster than that, that's what gets hitters out primarily.
Right.
As here's the 0-2, Laviosa fouls it back to the screen. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Laviosa, as well as the top of the order in general for Cortland tonight, just 1 for 11. And this is the 4th time through the order. The only hit came from Dylan Ketch just a moment ago, as the throw to first is not in time. Other than that, Joe Palma reached on an error, and then 2 strikeouts, a few groundouts, a couple flyouts for the top 3 guys in the order. as the 0-2 fastball is well outside. Ball one, the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It has been the bottom 6 in that Cortland order that has provided the production tonight. All 7 of their runs in the 5th and 6th innings have come from the bottom 6 guys in the order. 1-2. Breaky ball gets some luck in on the outside corner. Laviosa strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. And there's 1 away here in the 7th.
Beautiful pitch there. Fooling Laviosa, and Chris Burnett just needs to pick off these batters one at a time.
Zach Kelly, the next one for Cortland. He's the DH tonight. And he's up at the plate with a runner on first and 1 away. Throw over to first was not in time to get catch. Burnett has been trying to catch Dylan Ketch off guard throughout the entirety of this at-bat, and as he tries again with a throw over to first.
Good wordplay, Eric. Good wordplay.
Still a terrible pun, though.
Yes.
Terrible pun. But I had to do it. I haven't made a pun all season. I had to do it. First one to Kelly is a breaking ball outside. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Not intentionally, though. I've said flames on fire before, but I haven't. That's the first time I've made a pun intentionally so far this year. 1-0 is the count to Kelly from Burnett. Here it is, and the fastball is a big swing and miss. Got him to chase the high heat.
And Zach Kelly reminds me of a batter on the Syracuse Saltcats, Taylor Fajardo, who's taking huge cuts. And it's one of those things where it's either it's gone or it's a strikeout victim.
Swing hard 100% of the time at the plate. Kelly and Fajardo do. 1-1. Pitched in the dirt. Runner was going anyway, so on to second base is Dylan Ketch. 2 balls and a strike to Kelly. That will count as a stolen base for Ketch rather than a wild pitch. And that is his 9th stolen base of the season, which is first on the team. A good jump, and it did distract Zurat just a little bit. Here's 2-1 from Burnett, and the breaking ball is a beauty on the outside corner. Strike 2, the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What's the biggest difference between Burnett, Gabe Golub, and Connor Morrisroe?
Well, for one thing, Burnett has the biggest fastball in the staff.
Yeah.
As Burnett's ready to deal the 2-2, and the fastball is chopped just foul down the third baseline. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I have a terrible memory. Who was the third guy that you mentioned?
Morrisroe.
Morrisroe, yes.
All guys that pitched in this game. Because, again, for Cortland, they have to adjust to 3 different pitchers, and Burnett's fastball is way faster than Morrisroe's and Gabe Golub's.
Morrisroe has a quicker pace than these other 2 guys. Gabe Golub is sort of a mix of them.
Yeah.
As here comes the 2-2 again for Burnett, and the fastball is fouled back to the screen. And it bounces back towards the first base line. Bouncy backstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count remains. And that, my friends, is alliteration. That's something you do learn in high school, maybe a little before that, maybe in middle school. Setting up outside is Zurat. The 2-2 is a breaking ball that's popped up to the right side in foul territory. Trace Peterson calling for it. He makes the catch. Tagging is Catch from second base, but he holds up. And there are 2 away after Kelly. Well, he wanted that pitch because he was slamming the bat on the ground after making contact with it.
Your emotions can get the best of you on a hot summer night. Zach Kelly taking his frustrations out on his own bat.
And that was a hittable breaking ball from Chris Burnett, a hanger that got away from him, but luckily for him, just a pop out. That brings up Jimmy Tatum, and the first pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike. Count as no balls and 1 strike.
I'd say the one similarity between Gabe Golub, Morrisroe, and Burnett is they all pound the strike zone. All 3 of them do a really nice job. They're not too cute with their pitches. They go to work, and they do their business on the mound.
0-1 to Tatum. The breaking ball is low. Might have gotten a piece of the dirt. Ball 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Tatum hasn't driven in a run tonight, but he has scored twice. His infield hit in the 5th inning was the first hit of the game for Cortland, and that got the rally started when they scored 5 in the 5th. Also reached on a hit batsman and came around to score the tying run in the 6th. 1-1, breaky ball is on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Tatum. He entered the game with a .310 batting average through 11 games. Now on the year, 10 of 31 at the plate. Batting just below .333 as the breaky ball gets some looking on the outside corner. A knee buckler for Burnett, and that retires the side. Flames get out of a jam in the top of the 7th. On to the 7th inning stretch. Still 9-7 for Onondaga. New pitcher on for the Crush here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is Max Tannenbaum out of Babson College. Native of Coral Springs, Florida. Graduate of North Broward Prep High School. And he comes in to face McLean O'Connor to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning, rather. Flames ahead 9-7. And Tannenbaum gets the top of the order. First one to O'Connor is a fastball over the plate for strike 1. The count is no balls and 1 strike. Already the 5th time through the order tonight for Onondaga. And O'Connor is 2 for 4. Now up to 5 hits on the year. This is his 5th game since arriving with the team. As the 0-1 fastball is over the plate again, this time in the lower third. No balls and 2 strikes. Tannenbaum making his team-leading 12th appearance. Team leading by a whole lot of games, at least 5 so far in the year. He's pitched 15 2/3 innings. As here is the 0-2. O'Connor grounds it hard, but just foul down the right side and past the diving first baseman Hayden Houts. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Tannenbaum has allowed 12 hits, 7 runs, 3 earned. 3 walks, 14 strikeouts, and he's 1-1 on the year with a save. And his ERA is at 1.72, which is among the league leaders in the NYCBL. Good reliever out of the pen for Cortland. And here's another 0-2 to O'Connor, and he grounds one, a chopper to the third base side. Bobbled by Babcock. He picks it up, throws to first anyway, but O'Connor is on with what will likely be an E5 because that ball was touched by Babcock.
Yeah,
it looked like it's a tough play to make,
I'm
but
with
they
you,
got
though.
the glove.
I'm absolutely with you, though. He definitely had a piece of it. He definitely could have made the play. He just struggled to bring the ball up to his hand. So I think it's going to be an E5, and that's what the scoreboard says. So we'll go with that.
Second error of the night for Babcock. Almost a third earlier on a bouncer in the 4th inning, but that was a little too much of a bouncer to charge an error because it took a weird hop off the turf.
Yeah.
Here's Adam Gordon. The first one to him is a fastball over the plate. Strike one, the count, no balls, and 1 strike. Flames looking for insurance, as in these next 2 innings and in the last inning they're looking to clamp things down. You know, to clamp it down, preserve the lead. If the score stays the same, you take the victory. If you score more runs, you're happy. If the other team scores more runs, you're not so happy. Here's the 0-1 to Gordon, and the fastball just misses. Looked like it might have gotten the outside corner, but it was either off the corner or just a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gordon a 1-for-4 night. Single in the 4th. He came around to score. Runner on first, nobody out. The throw over to first is not in time. No tag applied by Hayden Houts. Gordon entered the game as the leading hitter on the team at .338 in 20 games so far. Runner goes. The pitch is on the outside corner. Throw down to second is there, but the tag is not in time. Stolen base for McLean O'Connor. That is his first with the team. He's 1 for 2 on stolen bases now, and there's a runner on second with nobody out. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is the count to Adam Gordon now. O'Connor takes his lead off of second. Maldonado shading in towards the bag for a potential pickoff. Here is the 1-2, and the fastball is grounded hard to the left side. Bobbled a bit by Babcock, but he snags it, and the throw to first is in time for the out. Successfully holding O'Connor at second base. 1 away here in the 7th.
Nice job of looking off O'Connor and then firing the ball to first base to Hayden Houts. And Babcock has a heck of an arm over there at third. That was a beamer coming out of his arm.
It was quite the beam. And here is Brian Hart with a runner on second and 1 away at Hart. He has been the big hitter for the Flames tonight, and he is a home run shy of the cycle.
Yeah.
He's a home run shy of the cycle, and he has hit 1 already against the Cortland Crush. As the first pitch fastball is in the zone for a strike. Count is 0-1, but I don't think he's thinking home run at all.
No.
I don't think he is thinking home run at all, and that's because he's just trying to help his team out, get, another run on the board. Extend the lead to 3. Try and add some insurance. As here is the 0-1 to Hart. Fouls one back off the screen, and it ricochets to the right side towards the Cortland dugout. No balls or 2 strikes. Hart has gotten on base 4 times in all 4 of his plate appearances. Single, double, triple, and a hit batsman. And he came around to score 3 of those 4 times. Time is called by the home plate umpire at the request of the catcher, Justin Valentino, who came in as a replacement for Ben Horsfall in the 6th inning. As here's the 0-2 to Hart. Swing and a miss at a breaky ball well low and away. Hart was fooled, and that's the second out of the inning. Still on second base is McLean O'Connor, as here is Mike Netzel.
Well, you can't be perfect every single time you're at the plate, so Brian Hart proves to be human, Eric, as he strikes out there.
No, folks, Brian Hart is not the Terminator at the plate. But he, like you said, he's human, but he is quite the hitter, and he's shown off his batting tonight as the pitch is inside for ball 1. The count is 1 ball and no strikes to Netzel. And this is another good hitter at the plate. Entered the game batting .322 on the year in 18 games. Now he is, tonight he's 1 for 3. He has driven in a pair of runs. He has scored a pair of runs as Netzel grounded foul to the right side. Strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Now 20 of 61 on the year, batting just a little bit under .333. He has scored 18 runs on the year, which is good enough for first on the team. Of his 20 hits, 5 doubles, and he's driven in 8 now after 2 RBIs tonight. 1-1 pitch is inside, almost ticked the jersey of Netzel. It's ball 2, the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that's one where you brace yourself for impact, and then if it misses you, you're lucky enough to live to see another pitch.
Here's 2-1 from Tannenbaum, and the fastball is chopped to the right side. A bouncer towards the second baseman Tatum. He gloves it, and the throw to first is in time for the out, and that will retire the side. Leadoff man reaches for the Flames, but he is stranded in scoring position, and it's still 9-7 for Onondaga, heading to the 8th here on Team Line. Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. And it's still a 9-7 lead for the Flames here in the 8th inning. One substitution made by Onondaga. Coming in to play first base now for Trace Peterson is Corbin Paxton, his teammate at Lake Erie College. 6-7-8 in the Cortland order to begin the 8th inning against Chris Burnett, out for his second full inning of work as Houts grounds it towards short. Nice snag by O'Connor. He takes his time, and the throw to first is in time and on target for the out. One pitch, one away here in the 8th inning. So it's now time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the NYCBL tonight. First up, there was a lot of action tonight. There was one doubleheader in Olean, and the Oilers swept the Hornell Dodgers 7-5 and 13-3 respectively. As the first pitch to Babcock got him on the left hip, and then the home plate umpire's right finger, one of his fingers on his right hand. So 2 pitches, a ground out and a hit batsman, and there's a runner on with one away for Justin Valentino for his first play appearance of the night. Oilers improved to 11-12 on the year, 4 games back of the division-leading Nitros, 2 games back of a playoff spot as Bill McConnell is talking to the home plate umpire, just seeing if he needs a little treatment. Meanwhile, the Hornell Dodgers, though, they dropped to a league worst, and this is not very close given the tight standings 20 games into the year. 6-16. A shocker given that the Dodgers won the whole league last year. They're 3.5 back of the Power for 5th in the West, and they are 3 games back of the Generals for the worst record in the league, as the throw over to first is not in time. And I mentioned the Rome Generals. They're 10-14 now, last place in the Eastern Division because they lost to the Syracuse Saltcats tonight at home 11-3. As here's the first one to Valentino. The pitch is low. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. And for Rome, after giving up 11 tonight against the Saltcats, they have given up 26 runs combined in the last 2 games. Not going to win many games when you're giving up 13 runs per game. As here is the 1-0 to Valentino. He swings and misses at a fastball that was right around the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Out west again, Wellsville hosted the Rapids of Genesee tonight, and the Rapids got the best of them, 5-3. Genesee up to 13-10 on the year. Wellsville down to 16-9. Still the best record though in the NYCBL by a game over the Spartans, as Valentino swings and misses at a fastball just off the outside corner. Similar pitch to the last one, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And then finishing up out west, this is an active game right now. Bottom of the 6th inning in Niagara, and the Power, well, they have some power in their bats. 13-4, they lead the Richmond tonight, as the throw over to first is not quite in time to get Babcock. However, the throw was a perfect one because Paxton barely had to move his glove to apply the tag. Still a runner on first, though, and 1 away. And another throw to first. They got him this time! Burnett guns it to Paxton. The tag was there in time, and there are 2 away. That's that 90-mile-per-hour fastball, that gun of an arm that Chris Burnett has to get Babcock leaning off the first base bag. And now 2 away. And he's a strike away from getting out of the 8th inning. Here is the 1-2, and the fastball's inside of Valentino. That got him on the right shoulder. Second hit batter in a row by Burnett. And there's a runner on with 2 away. And that shows how big that pickoff was just a moment ago now. Would have been runners on first and second, and only 1 away. That brings up Iset Maldonado, who's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Both have driven in runs. He has driven in 3 so far tonight for Cortland. Another pickoff attempt to first, not in time. Not even a tag applied by Paxton. So back to the out-of-town scoreboard. And our final look tonight is in Syracuse, where the Spartans dropped their 2nd in a row, as Maldonado swings and misses at a fastball. Strike 1, the count, 0-1. The Spartans yesterday in a make-up game lost to the Saltcats 4-3, and then today a 10-4 loss to the Sherrill Silversmiths, who are tied with the Flames for 2nd in the division at the moment, but the Flames have 2nd on winning percentage because the Silversmiths have played 2 more games. Maldonado looks at a breaking ball, a beauty on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. So that puts the Silversmiths and the Flames a game and a half back of the Spartans in the Eastern Division. A tight race to the end, and we're just past the halfway point in the season, as the throw up to first is not in time to get Valentino at first base, but a close one again. Normally, a left-handed pitcher has the best pickoff move you see. Andy Pettit, Jimmy Flahive, certainly examples. As the 0-2 gets some looking on the outside corner. Maldonado down on 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, sir. That retires a side. On to the bottom of the 8th inning. Flames ahead of the Crush, 9-7 here on Team Line. Back on Flames baseball on Team Line here at OCC Stadium. Flames ahead 9-7. Neither team has scored since the 6th inning, and that's been a good thing for Onondaga to this point. Their pitching has taken control of the game. Meanwhile, they try to add an insurance runner too here as Jared Groskuth steps up to the plate to lead off the 8th against Max Tannenbaum, on for his second full inning of work tonight. Out of the pen, and the first pitch to Groskuth is a fastball well outside, ball 1. Count is 1 ball and no strikes. The only batter to reach against Tannenbaum so far was McLean O'Connor, and that was on an error in the 7th inning. Other than that, Tannenbaum has been perfection through an inning so far. As the fastball is in the lower third of the zone, strike 1, count evens up at a ball and a strike. So taking a look at the standings now in the Eastern Division, Spartans ahead at 14-9. They've been in control of the division for a little while now, as the fastball finds the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Groskuth. Flames and Silversmiths tied for that second spot, but the Flames have a slightly better winning percentage because they've played 2 less games, 12-10 versus 13-11. Flames will take on the Silversmiths Monday night at 5 o'clock, the same day that the All-Star rosters will be revealed. That will be at 3 o'clock. So All-Star rosters revealed at 3, game at 5. As the pitch gets Groskuth looking on the inside corner. Paint from Tannenbaum, and there's 1 away here in the 8th inning. That brings up Jake Zurot, who has driven in 3 of the Flames' 9 runs tonight. He reached on an error in the 3rd, grounded out in the 2nd. 2-run double in the 4th, RBI fielder's choice in the 6th. First one to Zurot is a fastball in the lower 3rd for strike 1, the count 0-1. As expected, warming up in the Flames bullpen is Keon Taylor for the 9th inning, assuming the game stays within a save situation, as the Flames are up by 2 right now. Here's the 0-1 to Zurot, and the fastball is in the lower 3rd of the zone again. No balls and 2 strikes as Tannenbaum is just pounding the strike zone. And then after the Silversmiths and the Flames, the race is as tight as probably can be in 4th, 5th, and 6th place in the division. As here is the 0-2 from Tannenbaum, and that gets Zurot looking on the lower 3rd. Zurot goes down on 3 pitches, and Tannenbaum is dealing right now. That brings up a pinch hitter. It is A.J. DiFilippo. He pinch hits for Colin Matthews, who had a 2-for-4 night. Good night at the plate for him. And he also drove in a pair of runs. So we'll tell you how the defensive changes work out in the next half inning when we see them. So in that Eastern Division, the Saltcats and the Crush right now tied for that 4th spot at 10-13. As the fastball is in the lower 3rd again to DiFilippo, no balls, 1 strike. That's 4 consecutive fastballs that have just pounded that lower 3rd of the zone, and the Flames haven't been able to make contact with the pitch. As DiFilippo bloops one down the left field line, that one drops in fair territory. Picked off by the left fielder Palma. The throw to second is not in time to get DiFilippo, and he hits a bloop double to extend the 8th inning. Insurance run in scoring position with 2 away for Corbin Paxton in his first plate appearance of the night. And Paxton is, of course, in the place of Trace Peterson, who went 2 for 4 tonight with a pair of singles. Also reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. First one to Paxton, the left-handed batter, is a hard grounder towards short. Maldonado got it off the hop, and the throw to first is in time for the out. That retires the side. Flames strand another runner in scoring position, but they still retain the lead. It's 9-7 Onondaga heading to the 9th.
Welcome back to Onondaga Community College here in the top of the ninth inning. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon to potentially give you the last half inning of baseball if the Flames can take care of business. Some defensive changes have been made. Keon Taylor is on the bump now for the Onondaga Flames. A.J. DiFilippo is out in left field, and Adam Gordon's just going to shift over to right. Everything else is the same. Corbin Paxton came in for Trace Pearson at first in the last inning, so if you tuned out and tuned back in, Corbin's over at first. But Keon Taylor getting ready to go to work here at the top of the order. It's Joe Palma. First pitch outside for ball one. Excuse me, that's not the correct batter. It's actually number 27 is out there.
It's Nick Palma, not to be confused with Joe Palmo.
That makes sense. So Nick Palma is out there. 2 balls are the first 2 pitches thrown by Keon Taylor.
And they have a similar stance, too. Both left-handed
I
batters,
know.
but it's a very similar stance.
Man, trying to pull a fast one on the commentators up here. This pitch in there for strike one from Keon Taylor. And Eric, what can fans expect from Keon Taylor when he comes in to close these games out?
Heat. Simply put, heat on the mound. And deception, too, with that submarine windup.
This one popped up. Let's see if DiFilippo or who's going to get under. It looks like McLean O'Connor. Look at him on his horse. He's out there for out number 1. So McLean O'Connor traveling quite the distance, but, man, that guy has some speed.
Well, it's a play that Grosskreutz and DiFilippo can both make, but with O'Connor coming in, he had the best read on it, so he called it off, and it was the right play.
So it's going to bring up Dylan Ketch, the right fielder, he hasn't had the best night so far in the ball game, but he does have an RBI to his credit. He also has a hit. So he's 1 for 3, on the evening. So 1 down. Keon Taylor just needs to get 2 more outs, and the Flames will pick up their 13th victory on the season. First pitch for Dylan Ketch outside for ball 1. So it's a good pace for this game. It's 9:44 here. Not too bad. Can't complain about the timing in this one. Second pitch cut on and missed from Dylan Ketch, but we've seen games take a lot longer that have been similar situations, but the Flames with 15 hits in this ball game, the Crush only have 6. And the Crush have also made 2 errors. The Flames have only made 1 in the ball game. 1-1. Cut on foul back towards the screen. 1-2 count now for Dylan Ketch. Had the single last time he was up back in the 7th inning. Keon Taylor trying to close. He would get the save, correct, since it's a 2-run game. And Eric Moon gives me the thumbs up, so he will get the save here.
Has my stamp of approval.
That's all that matters. The 1-2. This one's popped up. This could be trouble. This could be back, and it's... Oh, what a catch. Jack Cherno and Adam Gordon, a little bit of a miscommunication between the two. This one was ranging back. I don't know how Cherno was able to keep an eye on it, but Adam Gordon cut directly in front of him. Cherno was still able to make the play.
Well, it's some good communication, actually, between Cherno and Gordon, because that's a fly ball to the gap that both could have gotten.
Yeah.
Just like the pop-out by Palma, his last in the at-bat prior to that. And Cherno caught him off and made the good catch.
2 away with Nelson Laviosa, the last out here for the Cortland Crush. This pitch almost tagging him as he backs up. So 2 down here. Keon Taylor has to just do his job and pound that strike zone like he has so far. Crush still trailing 7-9 to Onondaga. 1-0. This one, beautiful curveball hitting the zone for strike 1. Count goes to 1-1, and now Laviosa down to his final 2 strikes, or potentially the final 2 strikes for the Cortland Crush. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keon Taylor gets a sign from Zarat. Here it is. Cut on and missed for strike 2, and now, folks, here we go. 1 strike away from finishing this ball game. Flames had a 7-0 lead in the game earlier. Blew it. Cortland came back to tie it at 7. Flames poured on a couple more. See if they can finish. The 1-2 delivery popped up. Jack Cherno ranging underneath. It should be an easy out, and it is. And that's going to do it here from OCC as Keon Taylor will get the save. Beautiful game by him coming out to close as the team comes to congratulate him. But the final from Onondaga Community College, the Flames 9, the Cortland Crush 7. And that's going to shift gears into the Onondaga Flames postgame show. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon. And Eric, let's go back to where it all started. The Flames put up 7 runs in a hurry, but Cortland battled back. Talk about the resilience of this team not to give up after surrendering 7 runs in 2 innings.
My key to the game was the Flames pitching staff for the Flames to get a victory tonight because we knew both teams would bring their bats. A, because the Crush and the Flames have played offensive games for the most part so far this season, and B, because it's a humid night, so we're going to see offense regardless. Whichever team was able to step up on the mound at the right times would win. The Flames did that because they kept Connor Morrisroe. Yes, his stats don't look pretty, 4 1/3, 5 runs, but those first 4 innings, just 1 base runner. That was on a walk. He didn't allow a hit. He was dominant on the mound, and he had a pep in his step. 7 runs score in the next 2 innings, but then the bullpen shuts it down.
Yep.
Chris Burnett, 2 outstanding innings. He got out of a jam a couple in the 8th inning, and then Keon Taylor. I mean, that's a picture-perfect 9th inning. Retired the Cortland Crush 1-2-3, and the Flames have a 9-7 win as a result.
In the season series, this is the 5th game played between the 2 ball clubs. Flames now take a 3-2 season series lead here against the Flames, or against the Crush, I should say. And, I mean, Eric, after the last 2 nights, the Flames have put up a total of, the 25 runs 24 runs, as, math isn't my major here, but 24 runs after 2 nights. Can you talk about the offensive explosion and how confident this lineup is right now?
Well, the offense took advantage of the rest for sure. They had 2 off days. They took advantage, and they decided, we're gonna start swinging a little more now. We're gonna be a little more aggressive at the plate. They said because they were being very patient.
Right.
But to have a quality at bat, you don't have to work the count to 3-2 every single time at the plate. They have shown that aggressiveness, especially tonight, and that aggressiveness got them runs on the scoreboard, and they got just enough to beat Cortland tonight.
They sure did. That's going to do it here from Onondaga Community College. Stay tuned for some post-game interviews and a post-game show from Eric Moon and myself. But for Eric Moon, I'm Morgan Chapman. The final score at this one, Onondaga 9, Cortland 7. Have a good night, everybody.